Greetings, everybody. Greetings. We are live. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube, and we're coming to you live and direct from my yard. And welcome to Real Talk is Simply Deez on Tuesday, the 7th of June, 2022. So, how are we? How are we? I can see there's somebody watching. This is going to be an absolutely awesome show. I know I say it all the time, but trust me, it is. What I need for you to do is to share. We are streaming out live on the Pamtango page. Greetings, Nike. Live on Pamtango, live on Real Talk is Simply Deez. We are also on YouTube as well. If you have not subscribed, trust me, you need to. Otherwise, you're going to miss all of the great things that we have going on. So I would like to start with, I've been told I cannot sing. Who cares? Who cares? Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, Dee. Happy birthday to me. Give it up. Oh, shoot. I keep forgetting Shelly's producing. And anytime I she's got something, and then she just appears. So
you're trying.
I'll just say something really quickly, and then I'm going to let Shelly speak. So on Sunday was one's birthday, and had an awesome day. Thank you all for the messages and the gifts that one is waiting to receive. So just putting it out there. Hopefully it will manifest. So I'm sure my colleague, partner in crime. This is Shelly, everybody. If you don't know, Shelly Titmus, producer, director, Simply Deez Events, director, Shelly Scrumptious. We could go on, but that'll be the whole show. So what did you want to say, Shelly?
No,
you better be commenting on my singing. That's all I know.
Possibly.
Possibly.
I was just going to say, your singing didn't come up as any copyright infringement, so you're right.
See, that's just it. As soon as we start playing them old time tracks, do you know what? Facebook puts a block. So when it's hearing real stuff, it's real talk, isn't it?
It is real talk.
It's real talk. So as always, Shelly's in the background. We're not in the same house, but you'd think so, because I can feel her kicking me when I'm doing something wrong or something. What's there singing? RV. Yes, Vivi, I sang happy birthday to myself. And yes, you missed it. No, I will not. We haven't got time. If we've got time at the end, V, I'll come back again. I'll do a rewind on that track. But right now,
replaying what you did before on your own radio show, singing to yourself, yes.
Definitely. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is packed, so we can't gas like we normally do. Please, I can only ask so many times. Share to your friends, to your contacts, on your pages. We have some absolutely incredible guests. Don't ask me. Shelly's going like, how come I don't? And I'm like, well, I've confirmed them within the last 24 hours. That's how we roll. So I'm gonna we did a show earlier today, and that's the Simply Together show, which is actually 1 year old. Give it up. That's actually 1 year old. So that's every Tuesday, 12 till 12:30. We stream live on Facebook and YouTube. And I think apart from 4 shows, Shelly, we literally have done in the region of 48 shows, which I think is pretty awesome. That is the commitment that we do and the commitment that we have now. What I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do some jigging around. just due to time constraints. But firstly, let's see if there's anybody watching firstly, Shell. And if they are, let's see if they're paying attention. What's this? What's this? And no, I'm not swearing. What are these? Does anybody know what these are? Can anybody tell me how many people are in book 1, which is this book, Life in a Lockdown? How many co-authors are there? And this is Life Outer Lockdown. How many co-authors are there? There's going to be a prize, not for that. Shelly is thinking of said question as we speak, F. Are you not, Shell? She's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. She is. She is. What I am going to do, Trish. Trish, thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for your input. And guess what, everybody? So for those that are watching, that's why I said share. Trish is wrong. She's got 1 correct. The second one, she is incorrect. Sorry, Trish. So who can, and it's not a case of, yeah, you should know. You guys should know. What I want to do, because we've got guests waiting in the wings, as they say. I've got Shelly on screen now. Shelly, do you want to kind of give the guys a very brief, because my first guest is due in the next few minutes. Do you want to tell the guys what's happened there? Sorry. Do you want to tell the guys very briefly just a couple of things that we're doing at Simply Deez? I know you don't do wrong, Trish. I know, but you did, darling. Yeah. And you did it publicly. She'll be kicking herself. She'll be kicking herself for getting that wrong. Shell, what are we up to?
There's too much stuff going on in the diary. We have this week, I suppose we can start off with that. Yep. On Thursday, I can put it on the screen. We have got our 2nd edition, if you like, of the domestic abuse chats that we've been doing. You don't have to have been involved in the first one to be involved in this one. But what we're kind of covering is what classes as domestic abuse, how you can get hold of help, or help someone that's then through it as well, because help is out there in various different forms, and some people are not aware that actually in a situation about that gets classed as domestic abuse, and they just think, oh yeah, and nothing will come of it, but there is a lot that's then out there, and there's a lot that the police do actually then act on, and some people that don't actually realise that they're actually in one of those situations. So we're covering all sorts of different topics, and we do have counsellors in with us as part of a Zoom call, so it's in a safe environment, so if anything was to then come up, we can take you to one side and chat separately. So the second one of those then on this Thursday evening. Then following on from that on Sunday, something that's very new. In the area, Stockwood Park, the Discovery Centre, there is a brand new monthly craft and food fair. Now, it says food fair, and I'm going to be there with my Shelly scrumptious fudge and biscuits and bits and pieces. But also as part of that, Simply Deez stuff's coming up. So if we've got any of our crew that's interested in selling their items with us, the same that we used to do down in the hub in the market. So it's your own your own things that you've actually then made that you sell as your small business, then please do get in contact with us so you can be part of our craft stall. Do I keep going?
No, we will come back to you. No offence, don't take it wrong. You're going to be a gap filler, should I need one. Purely because it's packed, purely because I can see in the wings, so to speak, I can see our very first guest. I can see our first guest there waiting. So, yeah, if you'd like to bring the young lady on and let's get things moving. Yay! Thank you, Shelly. Thank you. So the young lady that is going to come on now. The young lady who is on. Yes. You may find that if you're still listening in, you may find that I call everybody young. So don't take it wrong, but you are young. You are young, darling.
I do it all the time. So yes, I am very young. Thank you very much.
Well, you are. It is so good to see you.
And
it is so good to see you, darling. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So there'll be people there. I know her.
Yeah.
They think they know you, right?
Yeah, they think.
They think they know you.
They
one of the things, before we get into what you're going to talk about for the weekend, I'd like to throw something at you, if I may. So early on today, we've got a lunchtime show that goes out every Tuesday lunchtime, 12 to 12:30, kind of magazine-y type thing, just half an hour ish. And we have guests come on. And what we shared today, and what I threw out there today was, in the past year, because it's a year anniversary for us, to name something that's gone well in the past year for you. I'm asking you this question. Okay. And also, if you don't mind, as in just to name one of your challenges.
Okay, I'll start with a challenge and then I will do the other part. Right. So the challenge for me this year in particular has been, so if you don't know who I am, I'm like all over social media. I do lots of stuff on social media and I talk a lot and I put on events and, I help people to speak and I help women who have gone through trauma, sexual abuse, historical abuse, all kinds of work are like that. So that's my background. And so I'm used to helping people. This year, since January, I have had a stalker. So it has had an impact on my business. It's had an impact on my life. It's had an impact on everything, really, because everything has been based around keeping me safe. But in going through this, one of the things that I realize about myself is that I do not ask for help. And that has been the biggest learn for me. And we go through things in life, and they come to, I believe, make us stronger, challenge us, or whatever not. But the one thing of going through this whole situation, I never asked why me. I just asked what was the lesson. And first I thought maybe this is about patience and just being patient, waiting for the authorities to do what they need to do, get things into place so that I can relive my life. But actually, the lesson learned is to ask for help. That's the lesson. And so that's been the big learn from this, because when you will know this, Steve, when you are out there in the public eye and you're used to helping people, you kind of like can direct and push people in the right direction. But actually, when I found myself in this situation, I just didn't know what to do. What do I do? Who do I talk to? Who can help? But also doing this kind of work, you get to learn and know about people who can, they get to know you personally. And it's like having to use those things that you you know, those people that you are in contact with now to say, right, I'm actually in a situation and I need your help. And so that's where I am today. And out of all of that, so I come to the good thing now. The good thing is that in spite of all of that I've been through, I've won an award the other day. And yeah, that was, you know.
Well, tell the guys what it was. You got
Okay,
time? Tell
so
us.
I shall take it down. I've got quite a few, but this one is very, very special. This is the Woman of Influence Award from the Powerhouse Global Awards, and I got this on the 12th of May. So yeah, this is a pretty big deal for me, I think, having that award. And like I said, I've had a few, but in terms of influence and, you know, in terms of what I do through the pandemic and all of those things. So yeah, so that's come out of it. But not only that, is I think that the most significant thing that's come out of that is me actually embracing the fact that I now know how to ask for help, because sometimes we don't know how to ask for help. It's like we clam up. What do I say? And if I say that, am I going to look weak? And if I'm going to look vulnerable? But actually, vulnerability is beautiful. It's beautiful. And so once we embrace the vulnerability, you know, that's when things begin to change.
Fab. Thank you for sharing that. In the two books that we've written, in his second book, my chapter is called I Am Not Superwoman.
Right. Relate to
and
that.
it's not so much for people that read it, great, but it's a reminder to me. It's a reminder to me, to self, that you are not all what you've just said, Yvonne, you know. And when you are doing things like you're doing, and as you said, in the public eye, and you're out there, and it's a case of people are always, and that's why asking for help can be, because it's like, you're Yvonne Michelle.
Yeah.
You've got all the answers. Well, people expect you to.
Yeah.
Expect you
Yeah.
to have all the answers.
Absolutely. And
people don't expect. Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah.
I can't ask for help because the people I'm asking for help are going to say, well, you should know this, and you should this, and you should that. But actually, there's one lady who's become like a mentor. Actually, her name's Norma Hoyt. I spoke to her and I just mentioned it to her, and she was like, have you called this person? Have you? And she's like, she said to me, you need a beating. You need a beating. You do. You need a beating because, you know, come on, Yvonne, you should know this. But actually, when you're in the situation, actually, all those things sometimes go out of your mind because you're in it and you can't see through the cloud. You can only see what's going on. But I'm grateful for the conversation that I had with her. Right, this is what I need to do. So I started, actually, it was, to be fair, it was out of frustration. I made contact with the National Stalking Helpline, because I just kept hitting brick walls and I wasn't getting any help. And once I went down that route, and they were asking me if I wanted an advocate, and I said, yeah, absolutely. That's when I started to remember things. Oh, I can call this person, I can call that person, I can call the other person. And so now, as a joint kind of collaboration of different organizations, it's been dealt with. It actually seems like after all these months, it's January to now, it actually looks like we're making headway, and I'm actually being believed.
I'm listening, and from, even though it's gone quick to me, because it's gone quick, but how is January to, how long does that seem when you've been in a situation, if you don't mind sharing? How
it
how
feels
long does
like
that seem? Forever? Just endless?
Endless. It's like, you know, it's just a constant thing every day, you know, and it has changed life. I'm used to being out driving, doing what I do, not having a thought about in terms of safety. But now I have to consider my safety. Can I go to this place? I couldn't go to Carnival. I couldn't go to the celebrations, the Jubilee.
You talked about Carnival the other day?
Yeah. I couldn't go because it's a free-for-all and it's an open space. So anything could happen, and I'll just be a
Potentially.
sitting target. I don't know where he lives. So if being in Luton, if I had gone to the carnival in Luton, and I had gone to all the celebrations in Luton, which I would have loved to do with my family, because
Yeah.
my family still live here.
Hmm.
I wasn't able to do that at all. And so that's the reality, and what people don't understand in terms of, your safety and stalking or harassment and things like that. It
Hmm.
actually limits you so much. And so, there's things that I've learned, and organizations that I will stay in contact with and help and do fundraising for, on all of those things, because it impacts women more. I'm not saying men don't get harassed
Yeah.
or stalked, but it impacts the woman far greater than it does any other sex out there. We struggle, and it was just last month, the young man was convicted of, he kidnapped the young lady. I think he dragged her into his car at the bus. She was standing at the bus stop. She was being stalked, standing at the bus stop. He grabbed her, hits her over the head with a hammer. She's no longer here. And I think he got life for that. He said that he heard from God to do whatever. He was hearing voices. And that's the reality of it. So you don't necessarily have to be famous or
Yeah.
anything, because you kind of think, oh, stalking, that's for famous people. But actually, no, it happens to everyday people like you and me. You'd be surprised.
Well, you're going to be surprised when we speak to my next guest, actually. I Wow. Um, I knew bits of what you've just shared. Um, and it is important that it's, if people can, like yourself, and you can speak about it, and you can share that, because that is information that, we're all going along about our daily lives, and that's somebody else. That's always somebody else,
Yeah,
isn't it? Or somebody that you can't relate to, you can't, but it's not.
no,
It's not. So in my mind, I'm thinking, like, we've been through COVID, and we had to be in predominantly for so much of the time. And then kind of like we're out. And then what you're saying to me is like, you're still in a form of lockdown.
yeah, yeah, because it's a form of bullying. You feel like you can't go out. You don't know who's there. You don't know if they know where you live. And in some degree you do know if they know, because I do know that where I used to live, I have to say, the person knew part of the address. So I'm just glad that I am no longer in Luton for that person to know where I am. So that's, I've had to put things in place, move out, do
Place.
different things just to stay safe. And the thing is,
Wow.
because I am the person I am, I do talk about it, but I'm not supposed to. I've been told off for talking about it as well by the authorities. Could hurt your case. But I'm like, this is the problem, that victims are silenced, and this is why they end up dead, because they can't talk. And then when they try to change anything, it's too late. And then we go down this, lessons learned from this person. And this is why we have the Clare's law, the Sarah's laws, and all of these people, all of these different laws, because it's too late. So there needs to be a change in the law for people who go through these situations. And that's the learning on this. So I don't know what will happen after this, but something will. Something will.
Thank you. Honestly, thank you. I'm sure Shelly, if you can, Shell's in the background, put up what did you say? Was it the National Stalking
Helpline? Yeah.
Stalking Helpline. And
Yeah.
if we can get that information, so should anybody be watching, that's why we say share. I'm sure you're the same. When we say share,
Yes.
it's not for the sake of sharing, because there's always, and that information may not be for you, but maybe for somebody that you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
to make a difference. So thank you so much. There's so much more, because you know you're going to come back and we're going to do a proper talk. But
Yeah.
but this lady's so busy. If you can keep up with her, you're good. If you can keep up with her, you're good. Do you want to tell us what you're getting up to this weekend?
Yes, this weekend I have a live show at Venue 360. So it's in Luton. So I will be in Luton this weekend. And it's on Sunday. It's a live show. And basically, it would have been my son's 25th birthday. I had a son who passed away, and it would have been his 25th birthday this year. So I wanted to do something in his name. And what I decided to do was to put on this really big event, which is not happening now. It's going to happen in September. But what I decided to do for this and my birthday, because my birthday was in May, I'm a Gemini, and we're still going through the Gemini season. I've created an organization, a project. It's called the One Voice of Vocal Academy, and it's a project to help build self-esteem through singing. Most of you know, or should know by now, that I sing, and it is the biggest passion I have. I love speaking, but I absolutely adore singing. And because I do lots of different things and sing around different people, they keep asking me, can they sing with my choir? So those of you who didn't know, I was on Britain's Got Talent in 2013. I ran a choir called Gospel Singers Incognito. That choir still runs today, and but I can't put the ordinary Joe Blogs in that choir. So what I've decided to do is create a space for people to come and learn music, learn singing, learn creative arts, and then 12 weeks after the sessions, they will then perform on a live stage at one of my events. So and we will just continually do that and just keep learning and growing and building confidence through that, getting people out there, whether it's spoken word, whether it's singing, whether it's playing an instrument, whatever it is. This is what we're going to do. So I'm looking for those of you who are interested. I am looking for those who want to get involved, who want to sing. You don't have to be a great singer. Let me just say that. You just got to love singing. That's it. And we'll work with you.
La. They're all telling me not to. They all keep telling me not to sing.
Oh.
You missed it at the beginning. I actually sang "Happy Birthday" to myself. Go Dee. My birthday was Sunday.
Was it on Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll be celebrating. You should be celebrating with us on Sunday.
Correct.
That's right. Okay. I'm calling all Gemini.
What's happening?
Yes.
What's happening?
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Who's going to be there on Sunday?
Who's going to be there? We've got Cheryl Lucas. Cheryl Lucas is from Luton. She's an amazing entertainer. We also have a lady called Kezabel, who is from Northampton. She's a well-known, well-established poet.
We know her.
You know her.
We know her.
Yes, yep. Kezabel, she's amazing, good friend of mine. And also from Birmingham, I have a young man called Lighty Powell, who is a gospel reggae artist. His voice is like smooth like silk. He's awesome, absolutely incredible. And then you have yours truly here, and I will be doing some songs for you as well. So yeah, it'll be a good night. It's going to be good.
Fab. So there's all these people, and they're going like, right, okay, so I know we've been streaming it along there, but just say the details for the guys once more, because you know what it's like. They're like, I didn't see it, I missed it.
Right. So there are two ways of getting your tickets. You can either go via Eventbrite, and there is a booking fee on that. If you look up music soiree, you will find that. And also the link at the bottom of this thread here, if you click that link, it will give you details of how you can book your ticket, and also give us the information about your dietary requirements, because there is a light meal. And when I say light, it is light. It's not heavy. It's a light meal. Don't become wasn't expecting
you know that, because if you're not if you don't mention those key words.
Light.
She said there was food. She did say light. Nah,
light.
all I remember is she said food.
Light refreshments. There's light refreshments that come with it. So, and we just need to know your dietary requirements, whether or not you're a meat eater or you're a vegan. And once we know that, then we can cater for you as well. So it's £22.50. If you book on Eventbrite, there's a booking fee on top of that. But it's, you know, for what you're getting, this is very, very reasonable. Very reasonable. So
and what time does it start? What time is it till?
Right, so doors open at 6. The show starts at 7 prompt. I'm an on-time person. It got to start on time. So it starts at 7. So please get there. If you want a seat, let me just say this. If you want to sit on a chair,
I'm listening.
You better get there early. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, because there's a limited amount of seats, but there's also standing. So if you want a seat, get there early. And there's no, you know, can't reserve seats. It's first come, first serve. That's it. And there's the Peter Hunnigan band as well. And for those people who are from Luton and beyond, I'm sure you've heard of Peter Hunnigan's band. So some incredible musicians. They're going to be backing me and the rest of the artists coming to perform and entertain you for that time. And then there's a DJ. Listen, you're getting a full packed evening. There's a DJ. Lee Drummond is our DJ and is also co-hosting this with me as well. So yeah, he's going to be introducing everybody, keeping everybody happy.
Fabulous. That is absolutely jam-packed. So that's this Sunday.
This Sunday, yes.
This Sunday, the 12th of June. So I know I've seen it shared on your page. And we will continue to share that also as well. So before you go, Yvonne, just due to time constraints, leave us with some nuggets. What nugget do you want to leave us with tonight?
The nugget that I want to leave with you and the people that are listening is that hardship comes in many different forms. But I believe that you always know what the answer is. But it's about trusting you, trusting your instinct to navigate yourself in that right direction. And it might be frowned upon by other people, but you have to go with what is in you. Trust you. And that goes across the board. And that's something that I've learned with all this situation that's going on in my life right now, is to trust myself, trust how I feel. If it doesn't feel safe, it's because it's not safe. If it feels safe, it's because it is safe. If you feel that you can trust that person, you can trust that person. If you feel that you can't, take heed and not trust them. Always follow your instinct, and it will never lead you wrong. And I really, truly believe that. So that's what I'm going to leave with you today.
Thank you so much for taking, because I know what it's like. It is busy, calls, messages, all that sort of stuff going on, kind of leading up to event. And you know what? Unless you organise events, you have got no idea. And when I say no idea, I mean no idea what goes in to what you actually get.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not 1, 2, 3 little thing.
No.
And what I know from doing events, Shelly's here, is a case of like, you know, when you're kind of like, we kind of got things going, kind of what have you and that. Then the week leading up to it, your phone just message, email.
Yeah.
I can't, this, that. And do you know what I say? Greetings, Pam, to people is you get to a stage where it is what it is. It is what it is, because there has to be a stage where you cannot do any more. No. You'd be up literally, when they say 24/7, they mean you would not be sleeping. You'd be of no use to anybody.
Yeah, it's true.
But when we do stuff, you don't give it 60, 70, 80%. You're giving it 150%. And I know that. Not 100%. You're giving it 150%.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
Just before you go, what were you supposed to be doing tonight?
I was supposed to be doing my own show. That's what I was supposed to be doing. And I have postponed my show, every show for the whole week, because I am focusing on this event. So that's rehearsing, that's making sure that the artists are okay, that they've got what they need, and all of that stuff, making sure that the hall's right, and the caterers have got what they need, and all of those lovely things that we have to do to make sure an event runs, making sure that you've got enough help on the day.
Yes.
To run around, make sure that you've got your clothes, and how you're going to, what time you're going to get there, and are the clothes ironed, and who's going to be ironing the clothes, all of these things, that's what happens. So there's lots to do, lots to do. And also making sure that, like, your banners are there, and, because you have to, if I'm launching something, I'm, have to making sure that all of the tech stuff is taken care of, so I can say, right, if you go to this link, you can click on, you can join instantly. Do you know what I mean? All of those things have to be done. And so I just decided I need to take some time off. I need to rest as well.
That is the right decision. It is.
Yeah. So, I might just quickly jump on and say, hi, remember me? And then I'll be off again. So, yeah, I'll be back next week.
Exactly. So look after yourself. I know you've got a absolutely manic week. So thank you so much for taking the time out this evening and sharing, because as much as people know, sometimes people know things, but when you've actually got the person and they're actually it's personalized, that message gets through so much more than, when we do sort of our social media mail shots, etc. So thank you so much. Okay, and we will get you back at some stage for an update. Thank you, darling. And I will see you Sunday. No problem, darling. Thank you so much. See you later, darling.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Yvonne, Michelle, and Yvonne's just updated us on the event that she's got this coming Sunday, which I know about, which I will be attending. I'll be attending with my sister. And I don't know who else, but we're going to be going. I did know, because Yvonne has shared publicly about the stalking situation, and that's what the show is called. It's called Real Talk. So we keep it real. We do. We keep it real. And Shell, if you can bring on next guest, please. We've got to keep it moving tonight, guys, because the show is, when I say packed, if you've seen the little kind of flyer or poster of the guys that are actually on the show tonight, you'll understand exactly what I am talking about. Yvonne has been on the show before. She's been in the studio, and now if you see this, another queen, we've got Daniella. Give it up. This is Daniella Swampakawi we have in the house. So honoured. Thank you for taking the time out, because I know you are busy. I know you are busy, so I do appreciate you taking time out to come on the show. And to think the way things are is the way things are supposed to be, if that makes sense. So Yvonne was going to come on and share about her event, and then we ended up talking about, obviously, the stalking situation and what have you. And I'm like, I've got Daniella next. I've got Daniella coming on next, and it's like it's supposed to, because she could have been at the end, she could have been where have you, but it's like kind of like it was supposed to be. So there's people out there, Daniella, going like, I recognise her. I do recognise her. Well, you should recognise this young lady. Life in a lockdown, 2020, behind closed doors. We managed to grab her. And Daniella is one of the 22 authors in this first book. But we're not going to be talking about this book today. We're going to be talking a little bit about,
we can carry on
talking
about that,
because otherwise you're going to miss everything. So for those that are watching, Daniella, they're going to be, who are you? Now, I know we've got something coming up, but not everybody's going to be able to attend. And plus, also, what this is about, we're going to gain a few more people for the 18th. Because people don't know who you are. And then when they do, they'll be like, I've got to make it. I've got to reach. That's what they're going to be saying. So, because I don't want you sharing too much, but I don't want you sharing too little. So I want you to share a little bit. So do you want to tell the guys just a little bit about yourself, and then we'll take it from there. So those that are in the audience, please throw out some questions to this lovely young lady, and we'll see what we can do for you. So Daniella, over to you. I will help you, don't you worry.
Excellent. I might need that. So, hi, I'm Daniella. I am a counselor by day job, speaker, and author of 3 books, and co-author of Laughing at Lockdown.
Yes.
Um,
Wow.
I am originally from Italy, hence the accent. Can't get rid of the thing. I've been here for
In case
30
anybody was wondering.
Just in case somebody was wondering, yes. Been here
Yeah.
long enough, still got it. Yes. What can I say about me that I don't know? How much you want me to say? I've been on your radio before.
You've been on the show a few times before. You've been and you've spoken at International Women's Day more than one occasion. We talked about the domestic abuse event. This will be the second workshop that we've got this week, and you're one of the counsellors that are supporting. So for those that are 3 books and a co-author, but you just kind of like, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's massive. No, it's not. You can't say that, Daniella. You can't say. Would you say that to me?
Oh no.
Okay, so for those people, listen clearly. You wouldn't say that to me. So I said, I've written 3 books, and I'm a co-author in another book, and I'm also a counsellor and speaker. And it's like, wow, that is a lot. And you're like, oh, it's nothing. It's not nothing.
You know why it's nothing? It's because this is me, and so I see it as nothing because it's what I do. It's like, actually, I was having this conversation I think it was with my husband, and when we talk about events in our lives, and like he was saying, like, what happened to me? It was like, well, that was like big to me. And I was like, I'm like, and he was going, well, it's massive, that is a life stopper. And I'm thinking, well, is it though? Because I lived through it, so I don't see it perhaps as from the outside, because I just deal with it. And when you deal with things, you don't feel as much as talking or thinking about things. So yeah. So that's why sometimes I tend to minimize me. Not a good thing.
You need to stop that. I'm sure not just your husband, others. It's like, you can't. And I said to you, actually, because I met Manisha the other day, and she said how inspiring you are. So the guys are there, we're having a conversation, they're going like, what are they talking about? What? So I need you to, you're not going to sort of like go into a real in-depth like you would do, but I need you to, because it's really important that and especially following on from I think what Yvonne shared just now,
very fitting.
And it's not like those that are listening exactly, that's why I said it was supposed to be, because she could have been at any time, you could have been at any time, but that's just that the show's gone in. So can you share not too much, purely because we're going to be sharing more at the book launch, and Daniella does have a book. Well, she's got 3 books, but she does have a book that should have been a physical launch back in 2020. Everybody knows what happened in 2020, and so we were in lockdown, and we did an online one. It was kind of online one, which was okay, which is great. But now it is live, it is in person. The details will come up, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So that's Saturday, the 18th of June. get it in your diary now. It's in Bedford, down the road. Okay, so but if you don't mind, can you just share a little bit about your journey? We've got time, so you don't need to, because it's really important, I think, especially now, for not just the women, for the men also as well, to be aware of certain things, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. I mean, a lot of you guys already know that my life is little. It's been a little bit of a car crash. So I have gone through a variety of situations which have been hard to actually overcome. A situation like depression.
Are we going to give a trigger warning?
You might
Are we
have
going to give a warning?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to give a warning right now, guys. A trigger warning. We are talking. Daniela, what are we talking?
We are talking several things, but I will be light on it because I'm just skimming over it, right?
That's it.
So
that's it. But we're still giving that warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been through a variety of situations in my life: abandonment, depression, eating disorders, self-harming, domestic violence, destructive relationship, abusive relationships, and a severe attack at the end of a stranger. Again, passerby, like Yvonne said earlier. You know, you don't have to be famous, you don't have to be known, because especially at the time nobody knew me. At the end of a stranger, a schizophrenic released from Broadmoor only a couple of days prior, who broke into my home and, just to skim over it, severely attacked me with the intention of taking my life. And with blessing, I was able to escape. So yes, there's been plenty to overcome, and those things, especially that particular attack which hit the news, it was like a manhunt at first and everything. As you can imagine, it was hard to come back from, but hence the message of my book show on Saturday: nothing is insurmountable. Like Yvonne said, we do have the tools within ourselves to overcome anything. We just need to know where they are, which ones they are, and use them. And we support from people, you know, we do walk each other home. So, you know, we can and will overcome.
Wow, you skimmed that, Daniela.
I did. I was trying to keep.
I know. I said skimmed, but I didn't mean skim. But that's okay. That's okay. Because obviously there's quite a few people that are watching now. Some we know, some we don't know. And have you got the books there? Have you got your books there?
I can grab the one for Saturday if you want.
Yeah. If you can grab all three, if you don't mind, if you've got,
yes,
if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whilst you're doing that, take your time. No offence. Producer, where are you?
Yeah.
Hello, producer. So I think we're not even an hour into the show.
No, not quite.
We're not even an hour into the show, and it's like, wow.
I'm back.
It's one of them wows. Can you, because this young lady, she doesn't listen to me. She's something else, isn't she? Shell, to say all of that and be like, it's nothing, or just, I don't know. You wouldn't say that to any of us, but I don't know. How would I sort of say? Would I say that?
You see? Oh, sorry, I don't know if Shelly was talking
No.
there.
It was just with, you can only skim over some of Daniella's story. And you really need to read the books to understand Daniella's story, in as much as how she's come through it and the reasons that she does what she does now, and the reason why she is the way that she is now, as in very, very. You can never tell someone just how amazing that they are, because it's always yeah kind of thing. But for the story that for what you've gone through, and to still be the way that you are now and giving back as much as that you do, it is amazing. It really is amazing.
Thank you.
And I think that's you do find that in some situations where you want good to come out of something, so you change the narrative for other people. I think that's the crux of like the actual story itself. You don't ever want anyone to feel that way that you did or go through what you did, so you try to make a difference.
Yeah. And that's about it in a nutshell, right? Because at the end of the day, you go through it, you learn from it, and you try and pass on the nuggets for other people on how to overcome. Now, obviously, everybody's stories is different, but by sharing your own, and obviously when you overcome something, especially not without mentioning even the previous one I mentioned up to the point, but especially the attack, to overcome that, you use and try all sorts of techniques and practices and ways and thinking. You shut down, you come back and retry, and then you aim to pass them all on, because you don't know what works for you. So you give them all and say, okay, try and see which one works for you. And that's what I now aim to do, because it could be all of them, it could be a variety of them, it could have been one in particular, but different people respond in different ways. So I just try and share not all that I tried and that can help, but more importantly, I think my message to people is that I give them hope that it's possible to move from victim to survivor, because we are always survivors. And for me, that is the message that with my Facebook I try to promote is being, and I always said, even if I could help just one person with a book, mission accomplished. Because again, my message is of hope, love, and strength, and that nothing is insurmountable. We just need to reach out and be there for one another and want to take that power back. Second book is about taking the power back, because we can. We don't need to be defined by an experience. Don't get me wrong. When those things happen, they bring you to your knees. It brought me to my knees. In fact, several of my experiences in my life have brought me to my knees, right? But that one really knocked me to the point that I came close, to taking my life after that. But we have a strength within us when we believe, if we want it, and if we look, like Yvonne said, for the lesson, rather than keep pressing the replay button, and we look for the lesson, we learn and we grow, and it doesn't define us. We use it as a stepping stone to grow and to go where we need to be and help and support others in similar situation, or even less than situation, or even bigger situation, because that's down to perspective, to actually know that we can hold on to anger, but it doesn't serve us. Anger only hurts ourselves. We're all people, all soul on a journey. And when we focus on our journey and become the light for other people, we can make a difference. And that's what my aim is.
You are, but for some people, I'm just going to throw something out there. Guys, we've got we've got Munya, Yvonne, and I'm sure there's quite a few people watching now. Any comments or anything, please put, or any questions for Daniella, please put in the chat. So I know we've talking just briefly about the circumstances. You can totally understand why, if you've been through anything traumatic like that, really and truly, you just want to kind of curl up, perhaps keep your head down and just survive. Just in your, why then would you want to be kind of sharing, writing in a book, and why would you want to do that?
You know what, at the time, I actually had a call from somebody that knew me at the time, asking me after all these years whether he was allowed to share that message. He says, I see you written a book now. Does that mean I can actually share it now, even with my partner or whatever? Because at the time, I said I didn't want anybody to know. I was hiding. I didn't want anyone to know that the girl in the newspaper was me. I was ashamed. I should have fought harder. I don't know how I could have beaten this big man, but in my head, I should have, you know. And at the time, yes, I wanted to hide. I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want my friends to come to court with me just because I didn't want them to know the details or if I wasn't believed or anything. Now, with time had gone by and having healed, having forgiven my attacker.
Did you say the word forgive?
Yeah, it's actually, you know, my books are called A Reason to Love Me and A Reason to Love Them. It's in my second book, well, it's in both books. The first one tells about the attack as well, but in the second book is about healing, and it's under the word A Reason to Love Them. Because it is. Is a soul like me on a journey. Every movie has a bad guy, and every bad guy has a story. He has his own. And now I can spend my time decide what is right, what is wrong, what should have been, what shouldn't have been. At the time, he was him, according to he was at the time, or even now, because he's still very ill. And I was me. I cannot dictate for his journey. I gotta dictate and take charge of mine. And if I don't forgive him, because I went through the 4 stages of forgiveness, women, you know, of healing on me and everything. If I don't forgive him, it's me that gets stuck, not him. He doesn't even know. He didn't even know the hate, the anger that I felt. He knew nothing that I wanted to go in there and speak to him and, you know, get whatever out of him to get a why or an answer. You know, he knew nothing.
So,
all that pain
sorry,
was mine.
did you do a restorative justice thing? Did you do that?
It was impossible. When I released my first book, and I was on 3 Counties Radio at the time, and the guy put me in touch with Bedfordshire Police, or put Bedfordshire Police in touch with me, to go through restorative justice. But I went through all the process with different people, which was in itself quite testing. And in the end of it, we couldn't do it because and then they didn't know what this guy was anymore, which prison, what's what. There was all hush-hush all of a sudden. But it couldn't happen because when all the association that deal with him or whatever came together, they realized that he's extremely, extremely dangerous still. It even attacked somebody in the police, in the prison. And they said, we cannot put you or us in front of him because we don't know what he's going to do. He's just extremely dangerous. So unfortunately, I was denied that opportunity. I don't even know how I would have reacted. I might have run away there and then. I don't know. But I wanted to put myself through it to check how far I come and to, again, promote my message that nothing is insurmountable, to give people hope that we can. And I would have gone through it to do it for me and for people out there.
The people
but it
that
was
you're
impossible.
helping. Oh my gosh, so many messages. I can't. They're literally like practically going off the page. Cecile posted, when Remy heard you speak at International Men's in 2019, there was a shift in her thinking. and she no longer thought of herself as a domestic abuse victim. She began to hear, hear herself as a survivor. And that is because of you, Daniella. I thank you for speaking your truth. And that is from Cecile.
Thank you, Cecile. I don't know what to say. I'm so touched.
Well, this is what we're kind of trying to say, Daniella. It's not just for words, just to fill a bit of time. It's for you to, and I said this actually, I think it was sometime this year, and I said, I struggle when people say nice things or get compliments or whatever. I struggle with it. And I like, yeah, thank, and bounce it back and go on to something else. And we do need to acknowledge what somebody, because if somebody's taken that to say that, they mean it, is to acknowledge it
I'm
and
so
accept
honored.
it for, that's what she's put. Nike's put, yes, I recall you from International Women's Day. I still get goosebumps. Your humility itself is inspiring. It's good that you remind us the impact of the trauma and where the lessons can be learned.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much. That is such lovely message. I'm so grateful. So grateful.
Well, all those messages, and there's more messages on there, are all genuine. They're all heartfelt. And oh my gosh, it's gone off the screen. It's literally the messages have gone off. Yeah, they've gone off the screen because people are watching on YouTube also as well. It's not just Facebook, it's YouTube as well. Plus, it's out on Pamtango station. So there's oodles and oodles of messages. One of the reasons we say you always need to share, not just for the person, that you're speaking to, but you never know who needs to actually hear the messages that are whatever it is, the topic. And this is certainly something certainly now that needs to be heard. You don't understand. I'm sure you're told, and yeah, accept it, Daniella. That's all going to need to for you to accept it, and it's genuine, and you've helped so many people, and you don't even know. Not everybody is going to tell you.
No.
Not everybody's going to tell you.
That's okay.
That's what I mean. You need to know.
I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Don't start crying on me. Don't start.
I am really grateful. Honestly, it's you know how much I struggle with giving talks because I don't like to be at the center of attention. But like the last message there, the reason why I do that and I go and pass out and I need a chair behind me is because of that, because the message is bigger than me. And I put myself through the stress of standing up and doing it every time, right? Just because of that.
I know. So talk us through your books. If you've got them there, just talk us through the title, just a little bit about, so that way then loads of information is being shared on the ticker there, your details. Obviously we're sharing about the actual book launch, but yeah, just tell us about your books, and that way then it could be a case of somebody, that's the one I need, or let me start with that one and work my way through, because this lady is amazing.
Bless. Okay, the first book, it's A Reason to Love Me. And this is my life story. This is my autobiography. So my journey from childhood, as I said, through eating disorders, being abandoned, put in a boarding school and all of that, and the attack, my life story and how I go through it, if you will, recounting the facts. There is, it's quite open with some of the events, but there's also laughter as well as possible tears kind of thing. It's a bit cheeky as well kind of thing. So yes, that's the first book, my autobiography, telling the whole story.
Wow.
The second book, which is the book launch that I'm having, it's A Reason to Love Them. And this book is about overcoming, taking the power back, how to look at things from a different perspectives, so that we are in charge of our life. So again, about forgiveness, acceptance, looking at relationships. Each chapter has using an example from my life, short one, and then there is a reason to love them. So recognizing who is the perpetrator, sometimes it's ourselves, but otherwise it's going through that.
Sorry,
And how to then
stop. So I don't mean to stop you, but I do.
yeah.
You said looking at the perpetrator, which is sometimes ourselves. That's what you said, didn't you? So
Yes.
re-say that again, because I want people to listen. They probably just thought like perpetrator, yeah, but you said sometimes ourselves, and it's so important that we pick up on these things. And yeah, can you say that again, please?
I was saying
A
that
little
there
bit.
is the second part on each chapter. Each chapter is entitled with its own relationship, friendship, eating disorders, different things, right? But and then the second part of that chapter, it's about a reason to love them being the perpetrators, and sometimes the perpetrators of the story is ourselves. Because
Wow.
sometimes it's just us that actually doing it to ourselves, like the balance of give and take and things like that, or the self-love and self-acceptance, all of those things. We have to take responsibility, and this book is a bit harsh, not harsh but direct, so it can be a little bit controversial.
Yeah.
I say it as it is there. This is simply Deez, right? Okay. Real talk. This is it. Real talk. I say it as it is. I'm not mincing my words very much, because at the end of the day, we have to take responsibility for the part that we play in our lives. It's so easy to point the finger at him, her, or the other, but when they're not here, who's gonna then take charge of our lives? If I were to blame my father for things that's happened when I was a childhood, my father's passed away. So now I'll be stuck if I blamed him. I have to take responsibility for what I choose to do with those lessons. So yes, sometimes it's us too. So there is a few home truths in there. Oops.
So yeah, I can imagine that some people. I mean, Nikki's put self-sabotage, and it's because that's potentially what some people are doing. Some people are doing it and recognise they're doing it, but will still do it. Some people will say they did that will actually make you think about what it is that you do and why you do it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's about perspective. It's the side we choose to look at any situation from. We can look at placing blame, or we can look for solutions. What am I going to do with this? Because every lesson comes to serve us. Life works with us, for us. So therefore, every person comes to bring a gift. Even those people, I'm not allowed to swear on here, right? But, even those people where the gifts are coming wrapped in very bad paper. Right? Sometimes the gift comes wrapped in very bad paper, but the worse looking the paper, the bigger the gift inside.
I love that.
And then there's my little third one. Well, little is quite thick, but there is a lot of little quotes in there, positive pebbles of inspiration. So this one is a collection of positive, reinforcing perspective, looking at things, and just little gems. So yeah.
Do you understand what a massive, humongous achievement that is? You don't. I know you don't. Look, she's just silent. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. I'm glad I've done it.
And what do you? So you've written the books. So through all what you've gone through, and if you want to know more, you either get the books or you get yourself down to at the book launch. Are all the books going to be on sale? Can they purchase? But can they purchase all of the books,
all
or is it
three
just that
books will
particular?
be there. All
Brilliant.
3 books will be there. So they can get them from there. But at the book launch, obviously, it starts at 7 o'clock on Saturday the 18th. It's in Bedford. I will send the link to Shelly, because people would need to reserve, because I'm provide, like Yvonne said, light
Yvonne,
refreshment.
yes, refreshments.
Yvonne, so yeah, and
That's
it's gonna
right.
be, but there's gonna be food, so I need, and seats, and I need to know obviously how many people. So I just send the link for registration to
There's a
Shelly.
link. There's a link already in the chat. But if anyone's then watching this back later and doesn't have access to the chat, go on to the Facebook page that's on the screen now, and that's the first link that you'll see on there to be able to go on to Eventbrite to get your. Are they free tickets?
It's free to register on Eventbrite, and it's £10 on the door, and it goes to the charity Faces in Bedford. So the
And what
profit
does
made
FACES
in
stand
the door.
for?
Pardon?
What does FACES stand for?
They are now. It's basically they support the families and children in difficulties. So they're a massive support for the area. Massive
right.
support for family in need. Whether it's helping with the children, or with clothing, or with food, or with giving support to parents, or they got volunteers going to houses and things like that. They won the Queen Award about 3 years ago. So
That's
yes,
right.
it's such a helpful charity. Amazing. So yes, the money from the entrance door, the profit from it will go to them, because their offices are in the same building where I'm actually holding the event. There will be
launch.
speakers. And there will be speakers, there will be singers, there will be music.
You're going to name the speakers, because people will be going like, right, okay, what else is going to draw me there? So let's name the speakers.
Where is my, anyway, we have got, I'm trying to remember now. We got Vinette Hoffman-Jackson.
I don't think she's Hoffman-Jackson anymore.
She's changed that, but I think she got me to put it there under that name. I think in a bio. So let me go in order of thingy with me. There we go.
Don't you just love Daniella, guys? She is just so real. She is just so real. So I know there's Vinette. Go on, you found it.
Yeah, Vinette Hoffman-Jackson. She will be on there. Mm-hmm. And she obviously is amazing in so many ways. So I'm so want to know what she's going to say. I have got Scott Brody. Again, an inspiration, a survivor himself of a variety of things which he will share, I'm hoping, on the night. We got Jasmine Mumbai. Mumbai, yeah, I never remember how to say her surname. Then God help me, we have got my husband. I have no idea.
Where's Stuart? Where's King Stuart? Where is he? Where is he?
Downstairs. I have no idea what he's going to say. Right?
Good.
So he's going to be my photographer for the night and a speaker. And then we have Anifa Mohammed, which hopefully she will bless him with one of an amazing poems. Mm-hmm. And then I have got a singer that sang Stuart and I's wedding. So she will be singing a couple of songs in there. And then I have got a quartet that are coming to play, a clarinet quartet. They're coming to play like the interim, like the before and the end kind of thing. And then I got an amazing presenter. Right? We have got a queen coming to present, right? You might know her, you might not. I'm not sure. I think she's been about a few times.
Are you trying to say I've been around the block? Is that what she's saying, Shell? She's saying I've been around the block.
We have got the amazing Deez.
She is. Yeah, so for those that are, because I kind of giggled through that. I am so honoured. I was asked to do this back in 2020, and I said yes, sorry. And COVID hit, so Daniela's going like, "Oh, I would do online." Why? I said because we're going to do online. So we did an online, and when she asked me a few months back and said, "Would I do it?" Because they're going to do it in person now, and would I host? I am so honoured that you've asked me.
I'm
so
just so
honoured
honored
and
that you said
privileged.
yes.
So not at all, honestly. So I am super excited. That is like that's like a show on its own. It's not even a book launch. That is a show.
I'm just hoping that it turns out to be as I actually listed it out, because I am a little bit, I am a little bit of a control freak. My husband told me to butt out because he's organizing the
That's
room.
right.
Right? So, and the food and everything. And I'm just supposed to turn up. I don't know what the speakers are going to
Yes.
say. I don't know what the room is going to look like. And
Yep.
I don't know what's going to happen. So
That's
good
right.
luck
So
to us all.
Sometimes, myself included, we have to take that back seat and then trust in those. And that's what you talked about earlier on as well. So it's putting that trust in Stuart and all those that are going to be
Shelly's
taking part.
shaking her
You
head.
know for a fact. She's probably talking about me.
You take a step back.
Well, you know what? I said this earlier on. For those of yeah, it's all right. When I get to eject you as well, I've got controls too. So no, I do. I did when I got married. I had to. They decorated the hall, they did stuff, and I wanted to go up there. And it's like, well, if I go to Harpenden and the wedding's in Luton, if I get stuck in Harpenden, I ain't going to get married. So I literally did not see my hall until I actually stepped, and sort of like walked in, and it was pretty.
Did you see the message from Cecile?
No, I didn't. Take that off. Oh, you get it, Daniella. They're called hecklers. Let's hope we don't have any of them. Actually, Cecile says she's going next week. Cecile's going to be there, so there will be a heckler. So I had a message from my next guest who is coming, and because those guys are going like, I saw a little flyer. There's quite a few people on there. Where's that Judith Jacobs? Judith Jacobs will be joining us very shortly. This young lady is running late, and she's just messaged me, and I said always, because she was late before, and so I will remind her that she's late again, but no, worth waiting for. So Daniella, I like that. I would not heckle Daniella. No, but you'd heckle me, right, Cecile? Oh my gosh. Daniella, it has been such an honour meeting you. And if I remember rightly, somehow we connected before, good old social media on Facebook. And then Vinette had her book launch, and I went to a book launch, and straight away I was like, you're Danielle, and she's like, you're Dee. And we kind of hugged, and it's like we've known each other for absolute years. It was just an incredible feeling. And then after that, I don't know, different events I've done, myself and Stuart, bless him. Stuart was just there, and you probably like, Dee's doing this, or let's go to there, and let's go to. You were literally at everything, weren't you? International women's, international men's, just all different events. So I'd like to say thank you, and Stuart. Seriously, thank you. Not
thank
for
you.
just being on the show today, not just for attending and supporting as in that way, but for those people that, for whatever reason, you might not hear the words thank you, this is thank you on behalf of everyone for all that you do. We've not scratched on the fact that you counsel. You're a trauma therapist specialist. Is that right?
Yeah.
After all you've been through, why would you want to do that? Why would you still want to be in that? But that lived experience is what is helping so many people.
Yes. When that's right.
Do you want to tell the guys, because there's a few still watching it, and before, because I might bring Shelly back on in a moment if she's going to be nice to me. She probably is not, but she'll probably just join us anyway. I don't know. You make me feel emotional, not deliberately, but just your strength.
Remind you yours.
And make me feel that I want to do what I'm doing and continue to do what I'm doing and continue to try and make a change and make a difference, and potentially, you're saving lives, right? You are. You know that, don't you? You know that.
I'm
Come
helping
on.
people.
You know that.
I'm helping people save their own life. I'm more comfortable with that.
Yeah, but you are ultimately saving lives.
Hopefully. Thank you.
I'm just yeah, there's just so many messages. Shell need to thing in because I'm kind of like, I don't know, it's like being in front of royalty. It's it is. Shell, do you want to sort of thing? I've just got a message I need to respond to from Judith. I'm just seeing what she's saying.
Right, okay.
Is Judith about? Because she's saying she's accepted. I don't know what she thinks she's accepted, but yeah,
She's
give me
not
2 secs. No, can't.
The StreamYard, no. Such as live events, yeah.
That's
you won't have anything like
it.
this.
But that is it, isn't it? It's just like, this is what makes it real.
Yeah. You never know go who's going to have a comment that'll actually be part of what your conversation then turns into. You can't plan.
You can account for that, can you?
Yeah.
That's it.
But then you've got all this coming up on when you got your actual event, so
yeah. Oh gosh, yes. That's it.
Oh, I've got Judith coming now.
There we are.
Oh, Daniella, we'll catch up, darling. We will catch up. We've got Jamaica in the house, and so I don't know how long we've got Jamaica for. So
love you,
we
love. We said
and you, darling.
Anyway. Love you.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Greetings, Sister Judith. Greetings.
Well, Miss D, nice to see you nice.
So, for those that are watching and thinking, I recognise her. Do you know how they recognise you? You're thinking like Real McCoy. No, they recognise because the last time on the show, you were late.
But I was having problem accessing. All right, then that's just my remote operators. I'm always doing.
I'm going like
running from one place to another.
Oh, bless you, darling. You are funny sometimes without trying to be funny, just naturally. Just naturally funny. When I got the message, I thought, she didn't say she's not coming. She just said she's late. And I thought, that's why I said always.
Yeah, I got the always, thanks.
Oh, bless you, darling. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much for taking time out, for just having a conversation, a chat, like you do. So I know there's masses out there. Yeah, it says Judith Jacob, and they're like, so see a woman with a Jamaican flag and that in the background. So who is she?
But I'm actually Grenadian.
Oh, that's not yours.
No, it's my partner's. He always has to flash everywhere he goes. Like it's some proud thing to be bragging everywhere. I'm a Jack. Is his accent.
Well, my family are from Montserrat, the lovely little island of Montserrat. So we won't go into the small island joke.
Listen, Grenada is a little tiny island, and I love Grenada. It's small, cute, and lovely.
It's not as small as Montserrat. How small is small?
Well,
what's the population?
To drive that whole island, I reckon 2.5, 3 hours.
What's your population? Ish.
Oh God, asking me things I don't know.
I don't think we've got 5,000 people.
Right. But Montserrat did have the volcano, and people left. And
even before the volcano, we were looking at 15,000 people then.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, before the volcano. So yeah, that wasn't the destruction. So tell us a little bit about you, and then we're gonna chat, and then if we get any questions thrown in, somebody's already put, I burst out laughing when I saw you. That's what Munya, and Munya's from Pamtengo, and that's where I used to, and I'd ask you down to the studio. Then COVID hit, and then we kind of like, sometimes I go in the studio, and sometimes I do it from home. So that's who Munya is. But yeah, you've just got that kind of face. So don't take that wrong. But you must have been told that before, right?
No, I didn't know my face made anybody burst out laughing.
So, okay. So tell the guys who you are, and then they might understand where we get the laughing from and why we think you're funny.
I'm an actress. My name's Vivi Jacob. I'm an actress. I've been acting since the age of 13. My very first show was a BBC Play for Today, originally called Slag Bag, but because in those days...
Originally called what?
Way too rude. Imagine Slag Bag is like nothing now, right? But that's what it was called. Anyway, it got Slag Bag. And they changed it. So that was my first TV, my first job was doing that. And I've done lots of other things like EastEnders, Real McCoy, no problem. My favourite job in all time, because I was working with my friends, Janet Kay, Victor Mara Evans, Chris Tummins. Malcolm Fredericks is no longer in this world. And for me, that's what she's now called. She was called Showcase at the time. So No Problem is, at the moment, still is my favourite job I've ever done, regardless of all the other stuff I've done in between. Recently appeared in a series called Prue, which is, I thought when I was sent the script, it was short for Pruella, like a woman's name. So I'm saying to my daughter, well, I'm doing this job called Prue. And she went, oh, what you mean where children are sent when they're expelled from school? Like, I don't know. Is it? I'm sure.
Pupil referral unit. Oh,
the age difference. She hears Prue, she hears referral unit. I hear Prue, and I think it's short for Prunella. So.
Is your daughter still living with you? Is your daughter still living with you?
So sorry, I can't hear.
Is your daughter still living with you?
Oh God, yeah. And and she gets it to me like I go, oh, you're still at home. Well, yeah, I'm not staying here forever. Okay, but you are still here. Just hashtag just checking in. I love her being here, but I just think it's going to get to a point where I won't want her to leave. So I need her to do it so that I can get rid of that anxiety of her not being here. Yeah, so
How old is she?
Today, I'm on the radio. I have a group of women, the BB crew, that I write, direct, produce with. My sisters, we've been together about 13 years. It's been a while. So, yeah, I think when I train a lot, I love training. I'm still carrying some weight from the lockdown, which I never thought I would put on, because I've been active all my life. And so when I put, yes, babe, me too. When I put the weight on, I was like, no, I can't put weight on. But, babe, if you sit on your butt for 10 hours a day, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And if you're drinking kava from 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it's going to come, babe.
Oh my gosh, you're great. So I want to know, today I asked a question and I'm going to throw it to you now. So over this past year, we've got a show that we do every Tuesday lunchtime. We've had a 1-year anniversary. So in the past year, what would you say was the kind of, well, one of the best things that happened to you or that you've done? And then maybe give us one of your ideas you've had over the past year.
Right, something that's happened that's good in the past year. I mean, there's been lots of little things. I'm trying to think anything big. I can't think of anything specifically. I mainly because I
just give us one of the.
Yeah, I just appreciate every day that I'm doing stuff, and when I get acting jobs, I'm happy. But I don't think you should be centralized around work. So that's why I'm trying to think about things that's not necessarily work, but has been fulfilling for me. I think just being able to have 2 hours or 3 hours a week when I'm on the radio and I'm playing music and it's just about me, that's a highlight. But my other highlight is when I steam and sauna, swim, steam, sauna. And when I can do that, the world is exceptionally beautiful.
Very good. Taking time for oneself.
Yeah.
Essential.
And
essential, and that is a reminder to all.
Yeah. Really important to actually spend time on you. Just you.
Certainly is. And as you sort of said, I asked, name one, because I'm sure you've had loads, but name one of the challenges. Name one of your challenges. And I'm not talking about getting weight off either.
I'd say one of my challenges is accepting rejection, which I've lived with all of my life. As in an actress, you have to deal with that. But sometimes you just think, what the bogey is going on? Because I've done this audition, that, and I thought I'd done an all right job, but I didn't get it. So dealing with that rejection and accepting that, babe, there are other people that have probably done it, whether it's better or they prefer, that's just part of the business. And most of the time, you're all right with it. But this year, I've had a couple of jobs that I've had. It took me long. I give myself one day to dwell in my own self-pity. But a couple of the jobs, it took me at least 4 days to get it out of my system. And I never like to dwell on stuff, but it was a couple of jobs that I really wanted. And so it took about 4 days for me to just accept that, okay, it wasn't your go.
For you. Yeah. Oh my gosh. From the last time that you were on, if you don't mind sharing, you did share some stories of like growing up and a bit of your background. So I don't know if it would be okay if you sort of like shared some of that with us. I know some of that's kind of sad. I think was it your mum that had passed? Was it your mum or your dad? I can't remember. Sorry. Yeah. But I mean, as in like, and how it's built you to be the person that you are now.
Yeah, I mean, my mum and my dad were both rocks in different ways. My mum wanted me to fulfill my dream. My dad wanted me to fulfill his dream. But his dream, I thought, was my dream for ages, which was to go to uni, be a doctor, you know, our parents' head high. Yeah. It's a doctor or a lawyer or a solicitor. No nurse. It's all high.
Yeah.
So I was following that path, but I was also acting, and my mother paid for me to be part of the union that was Equity at the time. That really, I say the words £13 a year, and everybody will probably go, but that's nothing. Well, it's nothing today, but it certainly was a few moons ago. It was a lot of money, and my mother paid it. And I left school to do Angels when I was 17. And you're filming before you come out on air. And when I was due to come out on air, my mother had seen me in other shows when I was doing stuff, but I left school to do Angels. And the night of the next day, my episode was going to be shown. My debut of an Angels going to be shown the next day. And on that night, my mother had died. But I didn't know because I was in Birmingham at the time. And then I got the phone call to say, oh, Mum was passing. So Dad wanted me to go to uni. Mum said, no, do your dream, and made sure it happened for me. When I was doing Angels, my dad, I had a T-shirt that was for me that has Angels written on it. And my dad's not necessarily a big man. He's certainly still bigger than me. He was wearing my T-shirt with Angels on it in the pub, in the bookie shop, any place that he can go around and brag that that's his daughter that's in it. The same man that
I didn't want you to. Oh my gosh. So what changed your dad from sort of like, wanting, like, in terms of like a professional, and you wanting, and your mum was kind of like, did they battle over that?
It was never, see, as I said, my dad always championed me, but his vision was who you see as Black people on telly. How are you going to survive with this little dream drop in your head that doesn't exist for us in reality? That was his protection, right? My mum said she doesn't want me to have if in her work. And I think my mum secretly wanted to be an actor when she was young. And she had an opportunity to do something but wasn't allowed to do it. So in her head, she didn't need to have anything that stopped me from doing it. So she put the money up. But my dad, when I was getting jobs as a youngster, because I started working at 13, so I was getting work. And my dad was kind of, oh, yes, watch. But in the back of his head, he was still thinking, no, she's going to be the first one at university. So he had his own little vision. But once I got Angels, I was working on Angels, and I was a regular. That was it. That was the turning point for my dad. He didn't need any more persuasion after that.
Oh, wow. So did you say you haven't got siblings, have you? Or have
siblings,
you? Can't remember. Have you got? Yeah. But you're in, where are you? Where do you fall?
I'm the third. I was the first born in this country. Middle, but first, because I was the first born here. So I didn't have any older brothers and sisters as far as I was concerned, because I was here with my dad. And it wasn't until, well, how old was I when my brother came? I must have been 7 or 8. Then my older brother and sister came in the house. And I honestly thought it was like a load of children came from Grenada at the same time. My aunt and uncles were all in my house. And it looks like it was an assortment that people choose which child they liked the best, because that's what it looked like. As from a child's point of view, they were going, oh, having this one and that. But actually, they were picking up their children. And the 2 that was left was my brother and my sister. So even though I am a middle child, I have no middle child complex, because I was not only the first child in my head, I was also a boy. Yeah. So when my brother came, there were some issues in the house that we had to sort out, because
You're fading it. I don't know. You're fading in and out.
Oh, really? Why is that? Let me let's see if I've had my headphones that I can connect. I don't know if this will make it worse, but let me try putting these on and see if it makes it any better or any worse. I've done it's connecting. Is that any better or any worse?
It sounds better, actually.
Can you hear me? Oh, I can't.
So your brother, So can you not hear me?
That's working because I can't hear you. So.
All right. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah. Take it back out. So your brother, how old is your brother? Older than you? How many years?
My brother was 3 years older than me, and my sister was 2 years. Now, Elliot is no longer in this world. He passed a few years ago now, and my sister below me, Janice, who we were both born here, she's no longer in the world. My older sister Cynthia, who came from Grenada, she lives in Atlanta now. And then there's the baby because she's everybody's baby, because she was. Me and my sister Jan was here. Elliot and Cynthia was here, and so Mandy is the baby, and always she's 50 now, and we still call her sister, but she's not.
All right. Oh my gosh. So do you see her
at Hackney Empire on the 19th of June?
I didn't catch the beginning bit. You're going to be at the Hackney Empire on the 19th of June.
Yes, it's the Windrush. What's it actually called? It's not celebrating Windrush, but it's for the Windrush. And the money raised, some of it's going to go towards charities that's trying to still get our elders their money. I can't imagine that if it was my mum, my dad, or my uncle that's been treated like this. I've been given all of their lives in this country, working hours that was unreasonable, hard. And then they want to kick them out of the country after they've used them out like that. I swear, this is just so upsetting.
Okay, so this next following Sunday, it's the 19th of June, and this is taking place, where did you say?
Hackney Empire. It says Stand Up for Windrush is what it's called. And it's at the Hackney Empire. You're going to have man like Curtis Walker, Travis J, who is Angela Mar's son. Eddie Nestor is going to be one of the hosts on it. Myself with the BB crew, we'll be there. Felicity, who is, I think she lives in Antigua mainly, and just comes to England, pop in and goes back.
Oh, one of them. Pass through. Okay.
That's how I want to live. Yeah, it should be a really, really good evening. And there's a group called Steppers that I wasn't aware of who they were, but they were apparently at the Jubilee recently.
I'm sure Janetti, one of the ladies from one of our books, I'm sure she's mentioned the Steppers previously before. So should it be a case of, because we'll certainly post those details for the event next Sunday, because I'm going to be hosting the lady that was on before you. She's got a book launch the day before, but suppose people might not be able to make it, but want to donate some money. Is that possible?
Yes. Thank you for saying that. So yeah, just buy the ticket. If you can't make it, or buy the ticket and give it to an elder who probably would be able to afford it the way nobody can afford anything right now. But you know, if you can hand it to an elder and let them come and have an evening out, that would be really cool.
That's a good idea. Give me 2 seconds and put some light on.
Yes, start then.
Oh, my ears. Sorry, 1 minute it's light and the next minute darkness just kicking. Oh, that is absolutely amazing. So what have you got coming up next, Judith?
So really, we've got the Windrush thing happening. And then I'm DJing down in Tottenham side. If anybody knows a place called All Nations, I will be there.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Do you know it?
Yeah. What do you mean, do I know it? Yes, I do. Plenty of us do. We do.
So I'll be there in August. I think it's the 11th of August, but I can't remember at the top of my head. But anyway, I'll be playing out down there. And hopefully we will have a show before the end of the year. But I say hopefully because this is the thing. You've got all these actresses and we're not working. Let's put a show on. Oh, what happens? 2 of our ladies are doing well. Suzanne is doing a play in Cardiff. She lives in Wales. We've got Suzette, who's left one play, went to another play, is in another play. We're like, wait. What? When are we going to do us? So it's working, but we really want to do our show.
Just timing. Oh my gosh.
Timing.
So you're busy. You're busy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what spare time? What do you do in your spare time apart from, as Nico said, drinking kava from 12 o'clock? Apart from that, and maybe I see you obviously on Instagram and doing your little video clips. What is that you're doing on those balls? Nico would know what they're actually doing.
Training is what I like doing. I like training. I like pushing my body and doing stuff that I see other people do and think I must be able to do that. My ego is amazing because in my head I can the body needs to catch up.
Oh my gosh.
The most recent one, Who Dares Win, when all these people had to challenge themselves to do what SAS soldiers do. Did you see it?
No. I know what you're talking about, but I didn't see it. And
a sister one, her name is Shelly, and it was her and another woman, Paige. I don't know why Paige won, but I know why Shelly won. She was amazing. So I went on her Instagram page to see what she does. Well, her training is even with my own ego, I won't even attempt 80% of what she does. I'm trying to do one little digger exercise that she done, and I'm still suffering trying to do it. But I'm going to get it done. I'm going to do it.
Is that the one that I see you that you've been showing on the ball thing?
On the ball.
What is that called? Because the people kind of like are thinking like, what the hell are you talking about? Explain to them what it is and what you're trying to do. I know there's a few Keep Fit fanatics that we've actually got on at the moment now, so they'll understand. But I mean, I just see you and I think like, what are you doing? And I'm thinking, why would you do that? Why? You could hurt yourself. Let's be honest.
Yes.
You probably have, haven't you? Because I'm going like
let me tell you, right? I was convinced I was going to mash up my face because you're like,
yeah. Because when I see you, I'm going like, oh, Jude, if you're going to just. And I'm like going, you know, when it's brilliant the way you do it, because I'm like going like I'm literally while I'm watching you, I'm swaying. I'm like, what are you doing? But you're making me sway, and then I feel like.
If you see the way that it's really done by this girl, Shelly, if you see how she does it. She just puts her balls right in the middle of the room. I put my back, one of my feet are on. I put them by the wall or I wedge them. She ain't even wedged them back. Freestyling right in the middle. And then she presses and then lifts one arm off, presses. I still trying to get the press off and come up without taking arm off and everything. I'm a stalker.
One of the ladies. One of the ladies posted, is it called a medicine ball? You might know it's something else. They've said it's a medicine ball.
Medicine ball. That's what I've got. That's what I'm balancing on, the medicine balls. So yeah, she's got it on medicine balls. Yeah, just
why?
But I want to do it. Do.
But then when I saw you, I think it was yesterday, and you were literally, I can't even stand up without kind of like, oh, but you're like kind of like, you know, literally, and like the legs, oh, I really can't do it, Dee. And I'm like, you what? And I was like, I'm thinking like, geez. You goes like, no, I've got a long way to go. I said, you've made a start. Guys out there,
Listen,
this young
vision
lady's
before
made a
you want
start.
to
And
look.
that's where it all begins, right?
There you go. There you go, baby girl.
Oh my God. You are absolutely incredible, Judith. You really, do you know what I mean? You really are. And those that are watching, if you've got any questions, you better ask now before time's out. But Judith, you said what was your favourite show, which was, because there's some people that are just joining us now. What's your favourite show that you've, all-time favourite show that you've been on?
That I've been on, no problem, without a doubt. Yeah, my favourite job
And
I've done.
just tell us why.
They're my
Why?
friends. We devised it. Black Theatre Co-op devised it for me, or Chopin came in with all the characters. And I'm working with my friends. It was the best. It was my best job. I've done loads of jobs, loads of different beautiful people. Real McCoy was great people, but they weren't my brothers and my sisters. And that's what no problem.
Yeah.
Today, they are still my brothers and sisters. So nothing touches. For me, nothing touches the job when I've done no problem. And I went in every day and I would just see my sister and my brothers. Loved it. Loved it.
How long did that run for? I can't remember. How long did it run for?
3 years. And the final year, both myself and Janet were pregnant. But my pregnancy was hidden because they didn't think it would look good for 2 young African descent women to be pregnant in a teen. But we weren't children, so it's not like it was irresponsible. We were in our 20s, so it wasn't like a bad thing. But they decided not to show my pregnancy. So Janet can show it in all her glory, and I had to keep wearing baggy stuff. But it suited my character because she was a bit of a tomboy anyway, so it fitted perfectly. So we've done 3 years on no problem. It's a shame. I think it could have run for 5, but it only done 3.
So when things like that, and obviously in terms of what we see on the TV screen now, what do you kind of like, I don't know, what do you watch? Do you watch TV? What do you watch? What sort of like captures you on TV? As in shows,
I love all shows that are challenges. I watch, when they had the games on, I was watching that. I watched the SAS thing. I watched, what's the other physical challenge thing? They had it, Freeze the Hoff, when people had to go in freezing water.
That.
I was all
mad.
of those.
You're mad. You must be mad. Would you do that?
Babe, right? I said if they wanted to get me onto that show, they would have to pay me 4 times the amount they would pay me to do I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Because I'm putting my body in ice water voluntarily.
Because I'm kind of like, I'm watching it and I'm like, I like this show, but I would go like, okay, so Dee Bailey, there's £10 million there, very nice, but I ain't doing it. Did you see the
Every
last
time
one?
I remember how much I'm being
the
paid.
Last one when they jumped off that. Me. No, sorry. Can't pay me. I was like, oh no.
But I also watch and I watch Home and Away, Aussie, you know, from Australia. My Australian accent's really rough.
It just fit, but I gathered that's what that was, that accent. But I quite like what accent is it that you've dropped this evening? Is it a bit of kind of Bayesian, Grenadian, Jamaica all mixed into one? I don't know.
It's like, I don't know why I always go Bayesian very easily. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call, so I'm gonna have to message.
You got a call.
I jump into Bayesian. Yeah, I just got rid of them. I always jump into Bayesian, and that's because we weren't allowed to have an accent in the house. We had to speak in standard English. So it means the one accent I really find hard to sometimes just click into is a Grenadian accent. Because anyhow we come in the house and start talking, but stop.
Do we have any Bayesians listening that can say that actually Julie's got it kind of spot on, or is she way off?
My best friend is Bajan. So I used to go here and when I'm talking. One of the people said they're told, but they can't do no food or something.
I cannot do heights.
Oh, I cannot do heights. I can't do heights, Brel, but I'll do it.
You would do it.
I tell you why. In my head, it's about. Hi, Shelly. In my head, it's about feel the and do it anyway.
See, I
hear all that.
I've done a bungee jump. I'm scared of heights, but it was only because I was raising money. I was doing fundraising. And that was the only reason why I did a bungee jump. But I cannot be even like one story up. If I'm in a building with a glass, I mean, we went to go to a hotel for my 40th birthday, big posh and everything. I went towards the hotel that we were going to book. And because you're up on a certain height, it was like, no, because I'm not even going to be comfortable in the hotel room. Because we booked somewhere else.
There is, what's his name? He's done Rowan Atkinson. He's done a character. And he went swimming and he was on a diving board and he put his stomach on it and slithered along. And I thought,
I think I remember that. We've got so many people joining us now. And they're going to have to watch this back. That's why we always say share, and you need to tune in. So I can see you actually hosting personally, having like your own show. I'm not talking about on the radio now. I'm talking TV with different guests, different things going on, and yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Let's manifest it, Judith. Let's make it happen.
Actually, I'm going to be doing an episode of Sorry I Didn't Know. That comes on every October. I say every, so this will be the third year with Jimmy Akabala.
Oh, I know. And I see with Julie Love and whoever else.
Chizzy.
That one?
Yeah,
that's two, it. Yes.
Actors. So I will be doing. I'm really looking forward to that.
Well,
thank you,
what you do. Isn't it, Janetta?
Right,
you know that.
In the air about me having my own show. Put it in the air.
You need to, if you don't know, do you know Janetti?
No.
Janetti Barrett. Janetti, do a listly. There is something that can happen there. This young lady is moving mountains also as well.
Okay.
Janetti, quickly post because I can't remember. What's the name of the show that you're doing? I think is it Rush? Is it Rush?
It's Rush.
With Ken. I see the name all the time. Janetti, what's the show that you're doing? Post it.
Yeah, post it.
Post it. Where's she disappeared to? King of Reggae, the man, the music. And that is touring all over the UK. And it is a show not to be missed. So I think, is it Ken McLean? I can't remember his name. But this young lady writes, sings, narrates a load of stuff. So that's what we do. We make connections. Let's see what happens. Janetti, Judith, you are absolutely amazing. Next time, I hope you might have me as a guest on your show because we've just put it out there. It will happen.
Let's get it done. Let's do it. Not a problem. It's done.
So if you don't mind, if you could say a few words in your Bayesian version, and to the masses. What do you want to say to us in your Bayesian accent? I love it.
I want to tell you, thank you so much for the love. I swear I love when I get the love from my people, because out here can be cold. But when I see my people on the road and they just give me love, they don't even know me, but they just want to hug me and kiss me, I say to myself, this is the best feeling in the world. And I tell you what, though, when you have your children and you tell them not to talk to strangers, don't talk to strangers. And then you're talking to different people, and your child says to you, who is that, Mom? You say, I don't know. And your child says, you tell me strangers and you don't talk to all of that strangers. What kind of thing is that? So, just a little warning, when you tell your children something, make sure you can back it up.
Oh my gosh, absolutely awesome. Oh my gosh. Judith, thank you so much. You know we're going to be linking again.
We'll definitely speak again.
Thank you for taking the time out, and we'll speak soon.
And let Jeanette stuff.
I will. I'll make sure you do connect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wow. So for those that are still watching, if you're not watching, it's your fault that you're not. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we are live, and we've still got another just under an hour. I've still got two awesome guests coming on. So without, as I say, further ado, let's welcome the lovely Alison. I think her name's, is it Sawyer?
Sour.
Sour.
Oh. Sour.
Alison Sour. See?
Yeah.
I love it. Some people got like, you should get the name right beforehand, but no, I like to thing, and then they correct me, and we bounce like that. Greetings, Alison. Alison will confirm to you guys that we after 9 last night. Am I right?
Yeah, and you went, la 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 la, stop talking to me. I don't want to hear it till I'm on the show.
That's correct. I did, didn't I? I certainly did. So,
sorry, I'm still crying with laughter from that. I'm still absolutely.
I know. I know.
She's funny. She's funny.
I know the show's kind of been, as I said, it's never a certain topic. It's just different people just sharing different things. So I'm going to sort of like, obviously, Alison Sour. I was going to say your Sawyer again. I'm just going to call you Alison. Alison, if you don't mind, because obviously we've got the masses out there watching either Facebook, YouTube. Please, guys, you need to be sharing. Christine, Clavey, welcome, and all the others that are actually watching. So, who are you?
Right. Okay. So my name is Alison Sour. The reason I've got a wonky surname is because I'm married to a German. Okay. So that's where Sour comes from.
See, Jeanette, it's not my fault.
I am a long-time campaigner and activist in the area of alternative education, in particular elective home education as it occurs in the UK. I'm also chair of a charity called the Centre for Personalised Education, and we support all types of alternative education, and we critique the mainstream, but we do it from an evidential academic base, if you will, in most circumstances. So we welcome reasoned discussion and things like that. So we're quite a serious organisation, but I've had a lot of fun along the way, and I've been campaigning for ages and ages and ages. Home educated both of my children. My son is 25 now. My daughter, and he was born in Croydon, so he's a southerner. And my daughter, Emerald, she opted at the age of 11 to go to a selected grammar school. So she's in one of the best state schools in the country, and she's right in the middle of her GCSEs right now. So that's where I am. And I live in the north of England, the frozen north, Lancashire. But a lot of people know me. I'm quite well known on Facebook with home education and also in the media.
Okay, so I'm going to strip it back just a little bit before we get into sort of like what you're going to sort of like share with us tonight. So you sort of said about kids, and in terms of like sort of like homeschooling and one's at. What about yourself? Did you, you know,
Me,
school wise? Yeah.
I hated school.
And how did you find it?
Absolutely.
You hated it.
Well, there's a couple of issues that feed into this. So I am the daughter of a vicar. Okay, so my dad was a vicar. He was a local vicar. So to start with, you go to school, and if you're the policeman's daughter or you're the vicar's daughter, nobody wants to be your mate. Okay, so you've got that to feed into it. Plus, I've never particularly been a fan of popular culture, still aren't. You know, so I was unusual, and because I was unusual, nobody wanted to be my friend, and I had a really awful time. What I didn't know as well was that I'm quite badly dyslexic, so my teachers called me lazy. So I was disliked by the teachers and by the kids, and I just had an awful time. And instead of people celebrating what was unique about me, which we should do with everybody, children, adults, everybody, we should be celebrating the unique things that make people that way. Instead of that, I was criticised, and I was quite badly bullied, and I actually got slapped around when I was in what's now year 11 at school, and everybody just stood and watched. Hated school, hated it.
I mean, those are memories that will never go away. They will never go away.
I know, I'm not anti-school, because, you know, it suits some people. And my daughter, you know, I would never have said to my daughter, no, you can't go to school. That would have been a ridiculous thing to do. But I do think school could be a lot better. And I do think that we put up with things in school that we would not put up with in work. So the bullying that goes on, some of it's criminal. Some of it is criminal assault. It really is. And yet we are expected to put up with it. We're expected to put up with the teasing. You see, teasing, you'll see, I'm wearing my Girl Guide uniform tonight because I've just had Girl Guides, by the way. And I tell my girls that teasing is gateway bullying. And if you are deriving pleasure from somebody else's pain, whatever you're doing, doesn't matter whether it's a repeated offence or not, if you're deriving pleasure from somebody else's pain, you are bullying, and you should stop.
Right, what we're going to do, sort of like whilst you're talking, Alison, we're getting comments coming through. Keep the messages coming through. I'll just say very quickly, somebody's just posted, does your husband's name come from the German food sauerkraut? Is it sauerkraut?
No, he just is one.
He's obviously not there.
Don't tell him I said that.
So tell us about, you know, I think some people may not have about the school bill.
Okay.
And I personally need you to kind of strip it from the beginning, and then that way they will know exactly where things are at.
Okay. So the schools bill is something that's been it's a bill in Parliament. Let me explain what a bill is first, because people don't necessarily know how these things work. So a bill is a draft law, if you like. In this particular drafted legislation, it currently in front of the House of Lords for scrutiny, is a bit of a mop-up and an insertion exercise. So what they're doing is they're trying to insert lots of bits of legislation into other existing legislation. So we already have quite a lot of legislation. For example, the Education Act 1996. And some of the stuff I've been dealing with inserts sections into that don't currently exist. So it modifies, if you will, the law that we already have. So the schools bill is going to alter a lot of different bills, like 15 or something different acts of Parliament it's going to modify. And it goes through everything from looking at academies. They're wanting all schools to become part of multi-academy trusts. It does other things as well, but the bit that I'm concerned with is two parts, part 3 and part 4. Part 3 deals with a compulsory register for children who are not in school. And part 4 deals with independent education establishments that are not schools. Okay, so they could be very part-time places. They could be your local Montessori 2 hours a week establishment, something like that. So that's what that deals with, is those other, and so both of those come under my remit as chair of CPE. So that's why I'm concerned with both of those. Okay.
Do you want to tell us what's concerning you? What, because we as in not just myself, as in like out there, we don't know.
Yeah. So part 3 in particular, first of all, there's no need for a register. There's no real need for a register. I mean, I know the person in the street might well go, well, it's common sense, there should be a register. But, you know, children are known to everybody. They've got this massive myth out there that there's all these missing children, and that there's up to 1 million children not receiving education, and that 3/4 of newish home educators in the last 6 years or so are not providing a suitable education. And that's absolute nonsense. It's errant nonsense. It's what we call anecdata. So it's anecdotes from local authorities who've spotted one person doing this and one person doing that, and have snowballed it into a big thing. They also mistakenly believe that although they don't say this, they say the very opposite. They mistakenly believe that things like home education are a risk to children. But they're not risky by their very nature. In actual fact, they're often protective. So if you take your child out of school because they've been very, very badly bullied, you're actually protecting their mental health, and you're doing the right thing as a parent. Okay? They want to get all those kids back into school because they refuse to see the inherent problems with their system, which has got narrower and narrower and narrower, and more people are falling off the edges of it because it doesn't suit everybody. It just suits those people. And they cannot see the inherent problem with that. They cannot see the inherent problem with the fact that special educational needs is chronically underfunded. We don't have any spare special school places in the country. There are waiting lists for special schools. I mean, they've known these kids had special needs, loads of them, since they were babies. You know, there's no excuse for us not having school places for some of these kids. They refuse to acknowledge that the mental health, I mean, this comment that the mental health of children has gone down quite steeply, but they refuse to do anything about it. They don't understand that the cause of that is actually school in many instances. And it can be the atmosphere in the school. It could be too much pressure around exams. There are a myriad reasons, special needs not being met, that kind of thing. So instead of fixing the system that they've got, they've decided that those of us who criticise the system or who are suffering from the system all need to go on a register and be inspected. So that's
so if you're homeschooling, are you saying if you're homeschooling that you're on a register and that you're inspected? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what they want to do. They want to monitor and inspect. I mean, they already have a duty to.
I was going to say.
Yeah, they already have a duty to intervene if it appears a suitable education isn't taking place. There's already a sort of light touch scheme out there. So they're allowed to come along and ask you questions and things like that. But some of the local authorities want you to be following the national curriculum. We don't have to follow the national curriculum if you're home educated. You know, what if your kid's sick, having chemotherapy or whatever, and you're not in school? Are they going to come and force you to... None of it makes sense. Okay, so there's all of that side of things. There's also the fact that they're trying to get people to register who are already registered at school. So children who are flexi schooling, that's where you do part of your education in school and part not in school. They're saying they need to be on the children not in school register. Children who are sick, etc., etc. And the penalties for not putting your child on this register within 10 days of them being eligible to be on it, mind. Within 10 days, the penalty is a school attendance order immediately, regardless of whether the education is good. They will send your kid to school. So they will punish your child for you not putting that child's name on the register. And if you don't comply with that school attendance order, you may get quite a large fine in the thousands, or they can send you to prison for 51 weeks. This is outrageous. absolutely outrageous.
Okay, there's a few people that are watching out there. Those that are watching, are you aware of what Alison is saying? Because there might be people out there that are fully aware and know about this. I'll be honest, what you're saying, I am not fully aware of all the different things that you've gone through.
The problem is, Dee, it's totalitarian. Not only that, it's an information gathering exercise. There are lots of other arms and legs to this bill. That's just one aspect. One of the other ones is that this list is going to be a database in every local authority. Every local authority is going to be told what they're allowed to ask the home educators or the people that need to be on the list, what they're going to be dictated to as to what information should be on there that they can ask us, if you will. But the local authority are also allowed to store anything they like about you and your child on that register. So they could, let's just say, for example, this is a really serious point. Let's just say, for example, you have a sexually active 14-year-old girl and they find that out. They might put that on that register. What happens if there's a paedophile working at the local authority? You know? We know how secure they are with our personal data. We had, not very many months ago, Gateshead, a local authority in the northeast, managed to give details of every single home educating parent that they knew of to all the other home educating parents in a slip up of an email. That's how secure they already are. So how can we trust them with the data? How can we trust them? We can't. It's totalitarian. It's surveillance state. It's inserting the state in between the child and the parent, which is, there's a lot of that going on at the moment all across the world, is trying to separate children from their parents and make these children into whatever it is they want to make them into, which is, it's not great.
I'm going to bring in, as if she will come in, the producer, Shelly.
Yeah.
There she is. I know you. I can see you listening, and I'm taking it. That's you commenting on what Alison's like sharing. What are your obviously other people are sort of like sending some messages through, as in terms of what Alison's sharing. Are you aware of some of this?
No. I with the work that I do with a charity for SEN children, I know a few families that have got alternative means of doing their schooling, whether they're in an actual special school or whether, as you say, like part in, part out. There was an incident with my best friend's son, my nephew, being in the last years of what would be his high school. And yes, we went into lockdown with COVID, but they weren't pushing him forward. He's classed as non-verbal, but he's got a mind at like 14, 15. He was doing A-level computer programming. He was doing higher than that, even sort of university level. But because his non-verbal part came under that he couldn't communicate what he was wanting to do, they were giving him simple tasks like, okay, for you working at home, you're in this group and you've got to make your bed, you've got to learn your ABCs and stuff. And it wasn't pushing him at all. But they were like that a little bit before then. And there's loads of other stuff that obviously can't get into one here. There's loads of other stuff that was going on in the school. And my friends said, no, enough was enough, and withdrew him from school. And she had a lot of problems. We're trying to, like, they kept thinking he'd be no good at doing maths. He passed GCSE maths. He's done the computer programming. There's so much that his brain can do, but because the rest of it is not there, the teacher would just direct you into this slot, trying to fit that round thing into the square hole. And for a special needs school, it will still happen. It's not a mainstream school.
That's appalling. That's very poor teaching, isn't it? Very poor. Yeah.
And now he's at college, and now he's just flourishing. He's doing what he wants to do. He didn't want to, because he would push against all of it. I don't want to learn that. I can do that. Why do I need to learn that and prove that I can learn that kind of thing? I mean, we get reams and reams of WhatsApp messages off of him for all sorts of different stuff that's going on in the world. COVID, Boris, Trump, anything. But the other thing that he was then also going on about that I said a bit earlier is we have got family history of bullying in our sort of my cousin's girl. Quite a lot of people, as you said about bullying earlier, don't realise just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. When we were at school, we could come home, shut the door, be away from it for a couple of hours. Kids nowadays can't. This is one of the reasons why there is the mental health issue that's out there at the moment. It's they can't escape from it, and it does unfortunately lead to life-ending issues. It does actually come down to suicide.
Yeah, one of the things that one of the things I've said about this bill is that it will lead to the deaths of children. Because if they force those children who have been rescued from an impossible situation and a damaging situation, have been rescued out of that situation and are recovering at home and improving their mental health, if they force those children back into that situation, there will be children dying. We already have some extremely stressed children who've read this bill or have read the stuff about the bill and are very, very worried indeed that their lives will become unlivable.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately for my cousin, she was in a situation where she got her daughter, she'd got all the backup that she needed, but going back into school, and that first day of going back into that school, the teacher picked up on something that she was doing as a calming thing and got called out on it in the classroom.
I have I run a special needs group here in my local town, Barnoldswick, with my friend Debbie. We run it for parents of children with special needs, whether they're in school or not, doesn't matter. And one of the children whose parents have been helping, he's got a diagnosis of autism, and he's a school refuser. And he managed to get himself into school one day, and he's already got a pass thing so that he can wear his hoodie, because they put the hood up, don't they, and it's a little bit protective. So he went into school, managed to get into school for the first time in 2 or 3 weeks, walked into school with his hood up, girding his loins, determined he was going to manage to make it through the day. And the deputy head collared him and said, "You're not following uniform policy, right? You can't have any lunch today." How is that acceptable?
No.
But that kind of thing goes on. And I'm not saying all teachers are bad. And lots of my favourite people are teachers. One of my best friends is a teacher. And it's not generally the teachers that's the problem. It's the system is just broken, and the system can break the teachers as well and turn them into people that they weren't in the first place, because they're having to uphold stupidity like uniform policy instead of good behaviour. Wearing the right uniform does not equal learning. If you wear your tie, does that mean you're going to learn better? I don't think so.
No, I mean, even to the point of when you're going through like a junior school kind of age, the kids are growing way too fast to be able to keep up with any of it, the uniform side of things. And you do see it. It's like, well, why are your trousers like that? It was like, I can't afford to keep buying new trousers all the time. They're going out of them, they're falling apart.
There's a classic round here where there's a school that has to have, the skirt mustn't be more than X number of centimetres above the knee, okay? But what happens if you're a very tall, skinny girl? You can't actually purchase a skirt that does that, They don't make uniform for all shapes and sizes. They make it for the standard size, It's just ridiculous. Anyway, we're off the subject.
Yeah.
The other thing that the bill does, so the section 4 that's about the independent education institutions. Now, some of these operate a completely different pedagogy from what happens in school. Okay, so they might, for example, have something called self-directed education, which is where the children, actually the young people, actually direct the education themselves, or self-managed learning. They might have something called democratic education. Democratic education is where the group decides together which direction they're going to go in. This is not national curriculum stuff. There's no, you must be able to do this times table by that age or anything like that. And children in these institutions, they learn things in quite a wonky way, but they all get there in the end. It's just a different way of learning, and it means that they don't dissociate themselves from the joy of learning. They don't lose that joy of learning and that eternal curiosity, being endlessly curious, which is what we want adults and young people to be like. We want them endlessly curious, because then they can continue to learn and grow. So what the bill does is it takes those independent educational institutions and it's trying to say to them that they all need to register. Now, if they need to register, if they change the rules and they make these ones have to register as if they're schools, etc., then they'll have to do that. You must learn your times tables by a certain age, etc. So they will just destroy that variety of education. And there's two knock-on effects from that. The first one is you're removing the choice from children to be able to go to an education that suits them. And the second thing is, on the basis of no evidence whatsoever, there's no evidence at all. And the second thing is that you reduce our ability to study those types of education and to see how effective they are. And they are very, very effective indeed. I do a lot of research with a researcher called Jo Merritt from Exeter University, and also another lady called Dr. Harriet Patterson from Liverpool Hope University. And we look at all these patterns and all these different things, and we see how effective they are and how wonderful they are. And we talk about them, and then these people see this as a criticism of the school system and they want to shut them all down.
Question.
Yeah.
Alison. So during lockdown, parents didn't have a choice. I know lots of them wanted to send their kids regardless, but they didn't have a choice. They did not have a choice. So for some, it was a nightmare, but for some, they found it worked extremely well.
Well,
and
the thing is,
their children have flourished being at home and having that.
Yeah, but the thing is, what happened during lockdown was not home education. It was school at home. Yeah. So basically, they were just transferring the classroom into the home situation. They put parents in an absolutely impossible situation because it's very difficult to do school at home with your own children. It's nigh on impossible, because your kids want you to be a parent. They don't want you to be a teacher as well. And in home education, exactly. And in home education, what happens is the journey of discovery and learning tends to happen in parallel with your parents, or you go off into a little group and do it, or you go off and do it on your own. And it's not that didactic model. It's not that teaching model. It's not pouring the information from the jug into the vessel of the child. It's a completely different thing. And most of it's done through discovery and conversation and experimentation.
Wow. Some interesting information you've given us this evening, Alison. There's loads of messages. When you look back, you'll see there's loads of messages that have come through. Because as I said, we're on Facebook. We're also on YouTube also as well. I asked the question, do people know about what you've been sharing with us? I'm aware, but that's only because I have a client who homeschools and is worried sick about this bill and the awful consequences of mandatory school attendance. They are so worried as to where this will leave parents.
Absolutely. If anybody wants to join the fight, if you come and find me on Facebook, you can come and find something called the Home Education Action Group. We've got 8.8 thousand members in there already. We are in the middle of a paper petition right now. This is a petition that is written on paper. It's a parliamentary petition, and we're going to have what's called a mass presentation of a parliamentary petition. And my friend Graham Stewart, MP Graham Stewart, who did this last time for us in 2009, he's going to be presenting this petition. So all the constituencies send in petitions, and they all get presented on a certain date in Parliament. It's quite a spectacle. Upsets the whips. That's what we want to do. Upset the government, because well, you have to, because otherwise they're just going to think that we're all sheep and we're just going to roll over and let them do things to us, and we're not.
They do whatever they want.
Yeah. That
so
come on to the Home Education Action Group on Facebook.
She shared that information.
Awesome.
The link into the group for you, in terms of some people may miss some stuff and they know sort of like that they can contact us at Simply Deez, and we will certainly make that connection and share your details if anybody's missed anything. But
thank you.
Yes, very enlightened. People were not expecting this tonight, I tell you.
I'm sorry it's so miserable. I am not a miserable person.
No, I don't mean no. Honestly, I don't mean as in that. I just meant as in like, yeah, you got what they call fire in your belly, love. And so it's good.
Cool.
Do you know what I mean? It is very good. Christine, as you know, Christine Clavey, who made our connection. Hi, Christine. Love Christine sort of said thank you. Yes, definitely, Christine. What was going to say? We will stay connected, Alison.
Yes, please.
There's certain things that we do here. We do lots of different things that we'll share with you and at another time. I have got, because I need to give some updates before the end of the show. I do believe it is my final guest waiting in the wings, Shell. I can't see his picture. His picture was there just a moment ago. But here he comes. This young man, Alison, was on my very first show that I did 4 years ago. And I don't know, because I'm going to have to find out by having my conversation with him. But he was a teacher back then. I'll find out now if he still is. So, yes, pay attention. Mr. Hines! Hi!
Hi, Dee, you're right.
I'm so excited. Am I all right? I'm absolutely buzzing, as they say. I'm buzzing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so honestly. Thank you so much for taking the time out this evening and coming on the show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm like the new journey of life. I'll be honest, I'm tired, but I'm all right.
In case people think this is a comedian that's come on, I don't know, it might be something that's in his repertoire, as they say, but I didn't know him as a comedian back in the day. And I think I love social media. If you use it for the right, I love it. I'm minding my own business, doing what I'm doing, and then this video just kind of somehow came across, and I'm like, and Shell, if we could find the track for that video, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of it, but I just love the track. You know that beat? You know what I'm talking about, didn't you? You know the one.
Yeah.
Oh, it just had a beat on it. It had a beat. Yeah. And there's this guy, and apparently he's written some book, and I'm like reading it, and I'm like, wow. So for those that are just joining us now, and for those that have been here and you're thinking, who is this young man? I know it says Ashley Hines, a tired Ashley Hines, I must admit, but we've got Ashley Hines. You don't understand. This is like having royalty. Shell knows. This is like having royalty in the house. Shell, am I lying? It is. Honest to God, you don't understand. You're there. Isn't he, Shell? He's there. Look, do you see where I am? You're there. You're way up there, Ashley. Honestly,
you got so overexcited when you said yes, Ashley.
Because when did you message it? Was it this morning? You said like, what time? I'm thinking, what do you mean? What time? I was thinking like I didn't know you were coming on. I didn't ask him, but he did. It comes back like days after. Is that how you do your marking, Ashley?
Nah, I'm a bit more
Do you mark
consistent with the
stuff
marking.
like days?
You know what it is? Is the form of communication. I don't check Messenger very often at all, so it's probably once a
So I was
fortnight. But
lucky to get you
today,
at all.
it sounds
God,
like
you're
that, yeah.
shining.
But email or mobile is probably the best thing.
Oh,
But
so you're
yeah, I
telling me
was
that now?
on Messenger and I thought, you know what? I know I've missed it a few times. Let me see if it's available to happen today, and then yeah, we see if we can make
Get
it.
it out of the way. Get it out of the way. She won't bother me for another year. Oh, Ashley,
Not quite.
get it. I get it. I get it. So for those that are joining us and thinking like, who is this young man? I know you can see the name Ashley Hines. As I sort of said, on good old social media, come across him. Do you know what? When I looked, I think it might even be because my first show was the 1st of May 2018, Ashley.
Yeah,
2018.
around that time.
And you were on that
That's
very first show.
not
So it
long
would have
ago.
been 2018. Yeah. So it would have been 2018 that I kind of found you, so to speak. So those people that are watching going like, yeah, Ashley Hines, yeah, who's he? What's he about? We got time, Ashley. That's the important thing. We got time. Don't worry. I don't mean hours and hours, but the show finishes at 10. But it's really important for me, to be honest. I'm so glad I've got you. For you to kind of just share, not like, right, I've written a book. I want you to peel it back. We need to peel back because people need to know where you're from to know where you are now, because otherwise they're not going to understand that. And that for me is just super important. So can you peel back? He's got a little bit of an accent. It's not Bajan, by the way, in case
Leave
those
me
people.
out.
And if it was, I'd get Shell to put subtitles on. So you're from Birmingham. You're born, siblings, school. That's how far back I want you to take us.
Okay. Yeah, you just keep pitching me with the questions, make sure I'm staying on point. Yeah, I'm Ashley.
I will do. Don't you
worry. Talking about being tired and whatnot. Well, somewhat new dad. My daughter's 11 months, so still getting used to that journey. For peeling it back, born in Birmingham. Siblings, got live with both parents. Got a sister 9 years older than me. She's got married, 3 nephews. So that's where the start of the book. The eldest, that's where the book came from. My uncle and me. Went fine at primary school. Was a good student. Little birdie.
Did you enjoy school, actually? Did you enjoy it?
I think, yeah, primary school was all right. My dad pushed me a little bit with education. I was like a bare minimum. Do you know what I mean? What's the minimum? What needs to get done? I'll do that. And let's get to the games, or let's get to PE or sports or whatever. And then my dad kind of said, yeah, you need to kind of just try and achieve more, really. Then he said, you know what? Since you're doing sports in the week, because I was swimming at the time. A lot of people don't know. One of my students tried to say I was lying. Say, can you swim?
What is that? Because you're black?
Basically, yeah. He said, can you swim? I said, yeah, I can swim. I used to swim for a team. And then it's just, stop lying, get out of here, whatever. But yeah, I used to swim for Perry Beaches, like a team in Birmingham. To peel back that story, went swimming with my dad and my family. He said that I slipped over and I was kind of shying away from it. So he said, we need to kind of get you swimming because you're gonna be scared of water. And then years and years and years of swimming, then got into the team. Like typical only black person on the team. When it came to galas, which is like swimming competition, dad's only black person in the crowd. So I not for now, but I got a book cooking for that journey.
Yes. You dropped a little bit of an exclusive kind of thing on my show. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. In like I say, time scale, I can't say when, but yeah, we've got something
When
cooking
you're
for that
ready, we're
journey.
here. When you're
Yeah,
ready,
hopefully
we're here.
the way that I want to launch it, I want to launch it on a big scale. So I would kind of like to wait till I'm a more well-renowned author nationwide, because I kind of want to do something big with that. I got a big plan, but just got to try and, you know what I mean?
Manifest it.
Yeah, man. When I got time to open my eyes rather than close them. You know what I mean? I got a busy 6 weeks. She'll be at nursery in 6 weeks holidays, so I got a lot of planning to do. But yeah, primary school was fine. I did get excluded a few times for fighting, but
When?
that was in primary school.
Nobody gets excluded in primary.
Well, suspended, should we say then? Suspended for a few times.
People don't get suspended in primary.
Don't they? Well,
Not that
primary
I'm
school
aware
was
of, really.
a no fighting policy. So if you were fighting, then you had a day's suspension. So had to do
Okay.
them. Yeah, secondary school, year 7, I was like the golden child. Had a glowing report. I love school. I love every subject. When I got to about year 8 or 9, just kind of found out I love of education. Really, didn't. I think it got to the stage where I couldn't see how what I was doing was going to benefit me. Kind of like a lot of what my students go through now.
Yeah.
And then if I felt like years ago, well, 2018, I've done an article in The Voice, and it was the same thing. I was talking about if I felt like a teacher was being rude or whatever to me, I just said, I'm not working in your lesson then. You know what I mean? And students say that to me now, and I say it's not for my benefit, though. It's for your benefit. You know what I mean? But at that age, with that immaturity, it was kind of like, wow, I don't see it's how it's going to benefit me in the future. I'm not going to do any work, and that's kind of where we took it. So yeah, education wasn't really a book reader. My dad used to try to get me to read, but I was like, you can watch the movie, so what's the point of reading? You know what I mean? What's the point of reading Matilda when I can watch the DVD? So I wasn't really that academic when I was younger. Really, I like PE, hence why I'm a PE teacher now, amongst other subjects. But yeah, I like PE. I left school with like a B in PE, and the next nearest grade was like E's and F's and U's and stuff like that, and people can't really believe it. I think I was just not interested, and then started to go.
That's just it. If you're not switched, if they haven't got you, as in switched on, they haven't got you. It's not a case of that is your achievement, the E's, the F's, and the U's. That's because can't be asked, can't be bothered, not interested,
It's not.
disengaged.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
Because what people do, they write. If you've got that kind of, they write you off. You're written off, aren't you?
Yeah.
If that's what you're achieving at school, you're already written off by a teacher. Am I right? You're written off. You can't achieve. You can't this. You can't that. But actually, you have got ability, but you ain't got me. You're not engaging me.
Yeah. I think that's what helps as a teacher, because
yeah,
being a young black male, and even though I'm in my 30s now, understanding where my students are coming from, I can just naturally relate more than other staff members, and I think that's what kind of helps. And a lot of my students, even though sometimes they're lazy, they do enjoy PE. So I have that kind of rapport that not everyone gets to have with the students, just because it's a practical subject. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you could say, well, yeah, I don't know. The teachers might have written me off. I'm not sure. But yeah, left school with next to nothing, basically. Went to college, and then that's when I kind of was like hair and tortoise kind of thing, and I was like, you know what, I'm not stupid. I'm quite intelligent, and look what I've produced. Let me kind of bite into something and run with it. And I was kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna go down this sports route. I'm gonna be a coach or a teacher, and then that's where it started to change. I went to college, and I was to be honest, I was a bit discouraged that the course that I was enrolled in college, you didn't even need grades. Like you like the not
I
being
was
rude,
just
but
going
the
to
thing
say,
that was
if
in my
you've got
course.
such, alleged poor grades, how did you then get into college? That's what I was
So
going to
the course that I started with in college was you didn't need grades to get into the course. It was just you just needed an interest in sport. So like the people that I was around, and I was thinking, like these assignments, like just give me the assignment. I don't even need to come to the lecture. You know what I mean? It was just easy. You know what I mean? It was just like a basic comprehension. Put the textbook in your own sentences, and the assignment's done. But obviously, for some people, that's the course met their needs. For me, it was just too easy. I shouldn't really have been on that course, but because of the grade situation, that's what was available. And I
Yeah.
did tell my lecturer, I said I'm way like smarter than what I've produced in my grades, but it wasn't having it. It wasn't having it at all. And yeah, side note, when I graduated my second degree, I took some students to a college for like a taster session, and he was there, and I was like, "Remember me?"
Really?
And he's like, "Yeah, man, I remember you." I said, "Yeah, I'm teaching now." He's like, "Oh my gosh, can't believe it! Like, I knew you was focused." I said, "Yeah, you wasted years of my life. You should have put me on the other course, mate. 2 years ahead." You know what I mean? But so it goes.
So
But yeah,
back
college.
then, Ashley, back then, however many years ago that was, I mean, what was, I mean, the environment that you were in? I mean, as a young person, sort of like growing up, I mean, distractions.
Yeah,
Were there
so
distractions or?
it's good to reflect back because like I became a Christian at 18, and that's kind of when I got more focused and kind of thought, you know what, I'm gonna go out and achieve, and I'm gonna try and help the little Ashley that was 14, 15 and struggling. So but the struggles, because it's so long ago, I rarely think about it. I do forget, but thinking about it now, it's probably not as regular as what young people go through now, but it was the same. We was from a certain area. Other people didn't like us because we was from that area, even though there were people in my area that were like doing the gangbanging thing and repping the area, but we was just like, we just couldn't see the real purpose and meaning of it. So we used to represent our area and stuff. We done music at the time and stuff, but we didn't really say, yeah, we're gonna be gangbanging and whatever. But yeah, friends got stabbed, friends got killed, well, murdered. What you want to say? It's just I make it sound like it's normal, but unfortunately, it was kind of the norm when we were growing up. It's just the environment that you're in. And I remember being younger, maybe being 10 or 11, and overhearing conversations, and I was thinking to myself, I'm never gonna have friends that are gonna do life in prison. I'm never gonna have friends that are murdered. But it's just the environment you grow up in. You know what I mean? I'm the person that's living with both parents, like mortgage house, and inside the house is cool, but in the area, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's a very real place. It's probably not as crazy as it is now because it's heightened with, not really because of social media, but because of the accessibility of technology. You know what I mean? If we were not in the house,
Yeah.
unless you find me in the park or I don't know, wherever, you're just not gonna find me until the next day at school. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it was. It's not now where we didn't have phones back then. So it's not where you phone, you Snapchat, you Instagram, everything's heightened. So if the positive and negative can be heightened, it's gonna make it better or worse. But yeah, like girls, house parties, that's just the norm for me, to be honest.
I wouldn't know what the norm is. I'm a little bit older than you, Ashley. Back then, things were different, darling. I got my first mobile phone, just throwing it out there. And actually, people can comment on this. What age were you when you got your first mobile phone? So that's not only to Ashley, but that's for those that are listening and watching online. If I tell you, I did get my first mobile phone till I was 33.
Wow. Yeah, I'm 33 now.
Well, that's when I first got mine, and that's only because we got stuck on the motorway one time, and I thought, do you know what? I think I need, and I was going to be late for school, and I had to sort of stop the car because we was in traffic because there was an accident on the motorway. I literally had to ask the guy in front. He had a phone, and I used his phone. I thought, I need a phone. But prior to that, 33, when I first got my phone, my son laughs now and he's going like, you are joking, 33. By then he's gone through how many phones? But yeah, it was that age. So totally different era, totally different. Like parents were different as in the way they brought you up and their expectations. So because you're a little bit older, slightly a little bit older than my son, but we've got expectations of whatever we had, we want you to achieve even more than what we had. Did you feel that pressure? Did you feel any form of
I felt it. I wouldn't really say it was pressure. I'm like a laid back person anyway. You know what I mean? At work, with the students, when I went to work in America, everyone just says you're just so laid back. But for me, it's just, I don't know if it's a Caribbean thing, but I'm never in a rush. Well, rarely in a rush. For me, it's just there's a lot of things that are serious, and there's a lot of things that just don't require haste, and that's just how I've grown up. So I would say I know that my parents wanted me to achieve, but I didn't really see it as pressure. I knew I was going to achieve, I just didn't know the route I was going to take. And then obviously when I got my grades and whatever in school, I did start to think, let me actually try and find a route now, because maybe just going with the flow is actually not going to work.
You're not the one, yeah.
But yeah, it was always like you need to be twice as better as other people, and that was drummed in. But I the thing is, I never had a career that I wanted to be in. Like my sister's a solicitor. She wanted to be a solicitor from when she first knew what the job was, in 4, 5, 6 years old maybe. For me, my family used to ask me all the time, what do you want to be? And I was just like, I don't really know. And then when I got older, it was kind of like, I want a certain lifestyle, but I don't really know what routes can get me there.
Yeah.
And even now, teaching, I love teaching, but it's never been a job that's like, I can't wait to be a teacher when I'm older, and when I leave school, I'm going to be a teacher. It was never that. It's just kind of dropped in my path, and it was kind of like, how can I help someone like me when I was younger? And I thought, you know what, I can try and meet them in school, and because I can relate, I think I'll try and have a good effect on them. And students come up to me now. Students tell me, like, when I used to teach them, and I met a student in the gym, way bigger than me as well. He's like, "Oh, sir, he was abroad last year doing some acting." And he's like, "Yeah, do you remember me?" I said, yeah, I vaguely remember you. He's like, "Yeah, you came to my school, was teaching me PE, one of the best teachers we've had," and blah, blah, blah. But for them, it's like, I was the teacher that's in the night tracksuit and trainers, and obviously no other member of staff even looks remotely like me. So you've broken the barrier there already.
When you say looks remotely like you, do you mean because they're not wearing that, or do you mean as in black? I mean, the school that you're in, is it predominantly
that school that I was in was in a predominantly white area. So I was one of, I think I probably was one or two of the only black teachers, but not because I was black, it was because I could relate to the students. Do you know what I mean? I even though we're from different parts of Birmingham or different parts of West Midlands, it's just outskirts of Birmingham. When I was there, you just had to look at me and you knew that, yeah, sir probably knows someone that knows me, or sir's like me, or sir's got an interest, because I'm the teacher that talks to students about music, and not a lot of people can do that. I'll talk to them about fashion. I'll talk to them about the JD and Foot Locker and stuff like that. And that's not me trying to get in with them. That's just naturally my culture, and that's where they're at now. So that helps with the rapport for my students.
Must be a massive asset to the school.
Yeah, I'm not gonna blow my own horn, but it's difficult though. I work in an alternative division.
I work you now?
Yeah, so we have students that are excluded from secondary school. Some go back to mainstream. Some stay with us because they like our are setting better than where they've come from, and some leave us for poor behaviour. Yeah, I would. Yeah, you would have to ask the head teacher about being a massive asset to the school. That would be their opinion.
So your aim, because I'm going to kind of throw it somewhere now. So as an alternative provision, your aim is like if you can get the young people back into school, that's great. Yeah. Obviously, if they're staying with you, they are in some sort of education system. Yeah. But
Yeah.
if they are that poorly behaved with you guys, where do they go?
So like because we're alternative provision, we're not a pupil referral unit, so they would usually leave us and go to maybe another alternative provision, or they might get sent on to a pupil referral unit. So because of the amount of grades that we offer in terms of GCSEs, pupil referral units usually only offer like basic skills, and then they might do life skills in the afternoon. So they might do like functional maths, functional English, and do life skills or something practical in the afternoon. Like we do GCSEs subjects, so my students are doing GCSEs like all this week and before half term. That's why we're classed as an alternative provision, because of what we can offer the students. Yeah, the aim is to get some of them back. Some of them hate it when they come to us and they say, yeah, you know, I've learnt my lesson, I want to go back to mainstream, I'm gonna try and get on with it and behave. And some like our setting better because it's a smaller setting. We might have a roll of 100 students or 80 students, and for them, they get a consistent member of staff, and everything's more homely, or it's more like a primary school. Obviously, it's smaller setting than a primary school, but it's like that. So they get that regular member of staff. They get more consistency. There's not loads and loads of people in the building, and that meets their needs, and they can go on and achieve.
What was I going to say? It would. Oh my gosh, Jordan's going to be 30 this year, so he was probably about 15, I think it was, and he was excluded from high school. So he would have been latter part of year 10, towards the latter part of year 10, and bearing in mind at that time I was a parent governor at the school, same school, and yeah, so you can imagine and do you know what? I'm on the disciplinary committee. But obviously I couldn't be involved in any of what had gone on. And so he got excluded. And as a parent, you're just like kind of, because I wasn't doing anything like I'm doing now. And it was like, oh my God, what? And the education, they were like, right, okay, we'll send him some work. What do you mean send him some work? He's supposed to be doing like 11 GCSEs at the time, right? And so then they're like, right, okay, we're going to send him to some pupil referral, which I didn't even know about these things. So sends me somewhere to look it over. I've gone there with him. As you walk through the hall, there is a snooker pool kind of thing in the main reception-y bit. So can you imagine, I'm a parent governor, right, for a reason. And I'm like, right. And he's going like, yeah, class there. And I'm like, right. And he might do possibly 3, probably 2 GCSEs. Remember I said 11. And he's like, yeah. And he's just walking around, really matter of fact, yeah. And some of the kids are tagged. I'm like, tagged? What do you mean tagged? I'm telling you, my eyes are rolling. Everything's rolling. I come out of there. He goes, see you Monday. I come out of there, I started to bawl. I weren't crying, I was bawling. I rang my mum. I said, I can't send him, mum. I cannot. Because in my mind, correct me if I'm wrong, but back then I was like, if I sent him there, I have written him off. I have written him off. I'm telling you now, that would have, because you are, whatever you're amongst, you do kind of like, you will gravitate and you will be amongst that. If that's what you're amongst at that time, and he was, as I said, he was 15, I think it was, as I said, 11 GCSEs. So weren't stupid, got into fight outside of school, got excluded, and then it's like they want to send him, and I'm like, nah.
Not having it.
And as a parent, sometimes we don't know our rights. You must know that we don't know the schools, the disciplinary, we don't know nothing. As parents, we don't know nothing. We're busy. Make the time for find out certain things. And in the end, I had to fight so hard for him to go back into mainstream school. He missed probably about 3-4 months and ended up coming out with like 9 GCSEs, A stars. I'm like, suppose he'd have been in school the whole entire time. But it's just a case of sometimes whatever you're in, that environment isn't for you and doesn't work for you.
Well, it's good that you obviously you're a parent that's going to fight his corner. Some would say, yeah, that's fine, bring him to this school. I think that's what for that situation, that's definitely what the difference is. And I think we get a lot of parents who were in a similar situation as the students 20 years ago. So if you get a student who was excluded, they hate school, they have kids, they want them to do their best, something might happen at school, and then they don't even want to go into school because of what's happened to them in the past. So sometimes it's just a hereditary thing, really. But I think it depends though. Like it could be an alternative provision like that, or it could be one like ours that like we're like, nah, like we're going. You go into
and want to push the kids to do the best that they can do, as opposed to like, right, okay, and we'll give you the minimum, and not even really the minimum. Exactly. That was that kind of vibe that I was getting, and I was like, no. The kids are not stupid. You know that, right? Many of the kids are not stupid. It's just they're disengaged because of the way they're being taught or other things are going on in their lives.
Yeah, you just need to like what you said before, you need to meet them where they're at. And once you kind of get that, the students will start to engage and start to listen. Because of my book and because you can Google my name and I come up wearing a 3-piece suit, a lot of my students believe that I'm some undercover millionaire in the building. So for some reason, I can imagine for a student to say, you know what, you're wearing suits and you're a book author, like it must be a big thing for them. So when they ask me about stocks and property and stuff, okay, have a little pause there. Let's see if I can send this out.
So, you run out of battery, no?
Sorry?
You run out of battery. I was going to post.
What was going to say? So Ashley, my gosh, because you know I can talk, obviously, but the guys are on here and going like, my God, this guy's fascinating. And all you sort of said, I kind of like, even now, I know you've shared so much. I've met you, and I remember when you were on the show like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it was yesterday.
Long
it was
drive.
such a special show. And like, you come down with your dad, because I think, was it an aunt or someone that lived locally?
Yeah. Got some family in Luton.
You sort of like, yeah. And, like chatting, and your dad kind of got your dad, he was saying a few things. And I was like, really?
Yeah, that was the day that instead of me being referred to as Michael's son, he was referred to as Ashley's dad. And I said, "Oh, the tables have turned now. That's your introduction." And he was like, "Yeah, it seems so." Awesome. That was the conversation on the way home.
They're like, "All right, Dee, you can talk, but Ashley, please tell me you've got the book there."
Yeah, I've got some. I got my for anyone that hasn't seen it. So this was my first book. See if I can.
My uncle and me. I do believe I bought something like 100 copies.
100?
Didn't I? Or was it 20?
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was 100. Probably
20.
Yeah, maybe 20.
20, probably 100 quid. That's what I meant. I knew something was 100.
And then this is the second book. This is my auntie and me. This is the recent installment that came out in the end of 2020. So December 2020 that was released. So yeah, they're doing well. Obviously, it slowed down with like, doing so many events and stuff like that. But online sales are still doing well. I've only got my first book on Amazon, just because of the cut that Amazon take is quite significant. So I say, you know what, let me stick to the ownership and put it on my own website and sell it that way. So yeah, the website seems to be doing well. If everyone can share it to a friend, that'll be much appreciated.
That's what you're on for. So, that's what you're on for, Shelly. Well, obviously, she's got your details going a lot on the strip, and we'll also obviously post that as well. Tell us what the My Uncle and Me, what inspired you to actually write the book in the first place?
Yeah, so like I said, I went to uni and I became a PE teacher, but at the time, I couldn't find a PE teaching job, so I was doing supply for the first year, and I worked at a school that was maybe 2.5 miles from my house, so it was local. I went there and they said at the time, like, be prepared because the class that you're teaching, they've had maybe like 3 teachers, and like the behavior is getting bad. You like just let us know how you get on. So I thought, I'm just gonna go in strict mode. I'm thinking only primary school students, how bad can it be? So I was like, morning, get a book, sit down. Morning, get a book, sit down. And I was like, I know you, your brother. I know your brother. I've seen you at the chip shop. And then the students was like, oh yeah, I think I've seen you in the park, you know, sir, playing football. Was you doing coaching? So like I had a rapport with the students before I even knew them. So teachers used to come past and I didn't know what they was looking at, but I seen a lot of staff coming past and looking at the window and whatever. And the TA was like, that's the best day I've had with this class in months. This class is normally like horrible. So I said, I don't know, maybe it's just me, I'm not sure. So the head teacher came and seen me that day and was like, what, who are you? Like, how come the kids are so good? Like, this class is one of the worst classes. And I said, I know a few of them. Like, I've just said hello to a few parents in the playground and stuff. And she's like, you've probably got the best rapport with the students and staff. So with the students and parents. And it's your first day? And I said, yeah, I live around the corner. Obviously, like a lot of the parents that come here, I used to go to school with them and stuff. So she was like, you know what, young black male, primary school, like we're crying out for males. Never mind black males, we need you. And I was like, nah, I'm not tying shoelaces and blowing noses. I don't do primary. I'm just here for a few days. And then she kept asking me. I thought, you know what? I did want to get into education for my community. Let me see if I can help them at an earlier stage. So I took the primary school job, and I was teaching year 5 for a few years. And in the last year, they'd done like year 5 and PE as well. So started to teach PE, and obviously parents will know. I think I had a year 1 class. Half the lesson was the students getting changed because they took forever. So I used to say to the students, whoever gets changed first, you can you can choose the book that I'm going to read to the class. So for weeks, we're reading. I said to my colleague, I said, we've been reading books for weeks and none of the characters look like any of our students. The class was Black and Asian students. So I said, you know what? I just throw like a throwaway comment. I said, you know what? I should write a book. And my colleague was like, yeah. Like, so we just left it. And then I think that summer, obviously because of the holidays, I thought, you know what? Let me just Google this and see what it's actually like. And then I just kind of went down the rabbit hole and started to read and research. And then around that time, a friend had really released a book recently. And I was like, no way, like kind of what people do to me now. No way, like you're on Amazon and I can't believe it. And so I said, yeah, you know what? We met up at a coffee shop and she gave me like some gems really on how to get in it and stuff like that. So I've done more research, and then I thought to myself, if I do it, I want to do it properly. I want to do it as officially as possible. You know what I mean? And that's why I started the social media. I read some books on social media marketing. I started to drip feed different pieces of information. My class, like the mantra to get their attention was WHDB, and they used to all say work hard, dream big, and then they'll look at me waiting for instruction. So the work hard, dream big thing.
I do love that. Absolutely love that. I do.
It came from being a teacher, and in my first year, when I knew what class I was going to have, the teachers write a letter to the parents, and then I wrote a letter saying, I'm Mr. Hines, I'm from the local area, I expect your child to achieve when they're in my class. I hope that you show as much effort as I'm going to show to your children. And then the mantra was work hard, dream big at the end of the letter, and that's where it started. So yeah, I thought to myself, what should I write about? And then I thought, you know what? Everyone says that my nephew looks like me. We like spending time together. Maybe I should write it about him. And then I started to write, and just over a week, really, because at the time I didn't write to say, yeah, I want to be an author. I want to sell books in multiple continents. I want to like break records or whatever. So the whole thing was just relaxed. Like I was writing pages when I was watching TV. And in a week, the book was finished, and then I just kind of fine polished it. And then I said, you know what, I got the script. And then because maybe I'm being a perfectionist, maybe I'm just a diligent person, I was like, I need a illustrator that is excellent. Like I need to get the black nose, and I need to get the features correct. You know what I mean? So I looked high and low, and I found someone in America. I think she's in Georgia at the moment. She was in California when I met her. And I ironed out a contract and whatever. And then, yeah, most of the pictures come from real photos that I took with my nephew. So if I can find the front cover, I think I've just put the front cover up.
I remember when you posted that, and you posted you holding him, and obviously the front cover of the book. I thought,
yeah,
wow.
So if this is the front cover of us in our bucket hats. Randomly, I took him to a barbecue, and when I picked him up, he was. We both had the same hat on, and I was like, you know what? I'll use that as a front cover. And then he was born premature, so we went to the hospital. So one of the pictures in the book is me going to the hospital and looking over him and stuff like that. So me taking him in the garden and the park. It's kind of like a non-fiction book, really, because it's literally just what we used to do. So I had the book, had the book written, found an illustrator, and then I said, I want to market it as best as possible within the finances that I've got. So and you know me, I inquired about everything. I spoke to bus companies about adverts. I spoke to billboard companies. I spoke to social media companies. I read books on social media. And that's why, and I wanted passing traffic when I launched my book. So that's why I done it outdoors. So I launched it at my local shopping center. So let alone people that was coming, passing traffic were like, what's this? What's all these bags that people have got? I launched the book on the day before my birthday and on my birthday, because on Facebook, what does everyone do on your birthday? They wanna say happy birthday. Instead of saying happy birthday, come to my launch, buy a book. You know what I mean? And for people that know me as well, like all the people that met me probably before I became a Christian, as typical, how can I say it politely? Typical young boy.
Don't worry, we're after the watershed.
So they was like, I can't believe that like you're this person that I left school with no grades with, and now you're an author. So it is just playing on the emotional strings, just like any company does. You know what I mean? And it was an amazing turnout. I was there in suits, had a photographer, videographer.
I seen the pictures. I seen the videos.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
So it was amazing turnout, and for people that came to buy a book, they were proud to say, like, this young man that I know, he's done his own book. And when I say own book, not like published through a company, everything was self-published, everything was self-funded. Just me, my wife, a little bit of finances and some prayer, and we took it to higher heights. So at the time, I think the first day we sold just over 200, which is 202 or 3, and then the second day it was like 301, 302. And I remember an author who's got multiple books, they were like, I said, how much do I buy? Because this is starting to get expensive, you know what I mean? And they said, if you buy 250, most authors sell 250 in their lifetime. So if you get 100 or 200 or 250, that's a good place to start. So I said, oh, okay. And then when I inquired about getting books printed, I done my prices based on a local printing company. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in Thailand on holiday. I was doing the numbers on the beach, doing the numbers, and I said, yeah, I'm going to use this company. I'm going to sell it for £5. I'm going to make it accessible for the target audience.
Everybody.
And when I got back, the company was like, nah, we don't do that anymore. I was like, what? They're like, told people the price now. Do you know what I mean? I told people the price already, so I had to find another one. Me being diligent, I phoned probably at least 15 cities in England. I phoned everywhere. I said, can you do it? So now time's running out. You're getting like end of January now. I got no book printer. I'm thinking, mate, I'm telling people about a book launch. I haven't got no books to sell yet. So it was crazy. And then I found someone, and like it was like a movie. The books got delivered on the Monday, and the Friday was the launch. So like people are coming up to me weeks before, like, yeah, man, I'm coming to the book launch, and I'm thinking,
no books.
I ain't got anything to give you. So I hope the books arrive on time. You know what I mean? So we sold 500 in just over 500 in 2 days. Authors that were self-published just couldn't believe it. There was like, you're supposed to sell 250 in its lifetime. Like, how did you sell so much? But with family and friends and spreading the word and social media, like me, like you seeing my video, it's like it had to go far and wide. And then what pushed it around was I done a video saying, I'm Ashley Hines, I've just sold 500 books. Hopefully I'm going to sell some more, etc. Someone bought 100 books as well.
Wow.
So I was like, I've sold 600 in the first week. It'd be great if you could buy one. I think at that time, the UK London had a worst, I think it was murder rate by knives than like New York. So it was kind of like a downer at the time. And then up came my video saying, and obviously I look younger than what I am. So people probably thought, look at this young whippersnapper selling books and wearing suits and stuff like that. So it just fell out at the right time. And then because I had obviously more freedom then, I was doing books events every Saturday. Like we've been to Manny, been to London, been to Luton, been to Leicester, Nottingham. We've been everywhere.
Wow.
And then in the first month, we sold 1,000 copies. And then that's when it started to get like global sales. So like, funny, I still don't know. Someone in Germany bought like 35 books, and I'm like, because it was Amazon, I don't get to know the person or whatever. But that was orders. Like who bought them? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was like Italy, Spain, obviously America, Caribbean. Dubai, I think maybe the people were in Dubai that I knew, maybe, I'm not sure, but it was like loads of different continents, and I was like Africa as well. Some books got sent there, and then people took some books there. So for a probably 2.5 month period, it was just crazy. You know what I mean? I was doing events like this every day, every evening I was doing something like that. Obviously everyone was like, I can't believe how inspiring he is, as well as he's a teacher. Teachers were trying to get me into their school, and I'm like, I must be the only author who's a teacher, and I can't get to your school because teachers you don't get time off. You definitely don't get time off to run your own business. So yeah, it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. So it and the parents still come up to me now. I think parents have read my book more than I've read my book, because they were like, 40 days in a row, I've read your book every single day. But kids are getting chance to see someone that looks like them in a book. It's funny as well, because my nephew thinks that the book is just so normal and standard. He's just like, Uncle Ashley wrote a book about me. That's his normal. You know what I mean? But for us, it's like, we never
it's
had
massive.
books like that.
It's humongous. Yeah.
Yes, it's crazy. So, yeah, the journey went well with my uncle and me, and then I was never in a rush to write my Auntie Me. I wasn't gonna write one, actually. I was gonna write something different. I didn't want it to be like the Fast and Furious 1, Fast and Furious 2, Fast and Furious 3. I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do this one and move on. But most of my customers are predominantly females, and they were like, "Where's my Auntie and Me? Where's my Auntie and Me?" And then said, "Oh, okay, let me see what I can do. Give the customers what they want to an extent." And then that's when I wrote my Auntie and Me, and I played on both of my aunties' roles, that like my own aunties, and then I played on people's nieces, because I haven't got any nieces, or people's daughters, and just kind of took bits from people's lives, and then kind of like what I wanted them to see. So the auntie in the book, she's like well renowned for what she does. She's like well renowned for it. So she's got a penthouse, and just getting my readers to see a different life. You know what I mean? A lot of, especially primary school students, they don't know the ones that I was teaching don't know what a penthouse is, don't know about going on holiday consistently, don't know about art galleries and painting. And so it was like, I've got my own friends that were like, "Yeah, Ash, I see the way you move in the trajectory of the mindset in the books." And I said, yeah. I'm trying to expose them to what's possible. Do you know what I mean? So I've got loads of ideas for books. I think not disheartening, but the discouraging thing is, and I don't know why it is like this in the industry, children's books cost the most to make. Your ink goes all the way to the end of the pages, so which is called bleeds. So it bleeds to the end of the pages. The whole book is color. So, and you need an illustrator. So the illustrator is expensive. Printing a book's expensive. And you rarely get a book more than £10. I know a few authors that sell theirs for more than £10, but I don't think I would get to that mark. I think £7 is reasonable. If the inflation gets crazy, it could be £10, but I think like £12 and £13 for a children's book is expensive. But if you're coming into the industry and you haven't bought loads of copies and you haven't sold lots of copies, I can understand why you might want to have a book so highly priced. But you've got, I don't even know, 50 Shades of Grey. It's probably got a picture on the front cover. I don't know, 200 pages maybe, all black ink on text, not even black and white, all black ink on beige text. It's the cheapest printing you can do in books. And then that probably sells for like a £20. Harry Potter probably goes for around the same price, £20. So I think
crazy.
I know what it's like, because you're buying for children's books are for people that haven't got money in it. Like, children don't have their own money, so you're never gonna say £20 for a children's book. But yeah, I think that needs to change, because it's the most expensive to make and it's the cheapest book in the market. So that's why my books aren't churned out consistently, because a few people that I know, and we talk business, they say like, obviously you need new products, because mine's not a recurring product in terms of food or clothes. I'm not gonna have a black t-shirt, a white t-shirt, a grey t-shirt.
You have merchandise.
Yeah, it's a one-time shot, unless you're gonna buy for like family and friends. But
do you have merchandise?
No, I wanted to the funny thing, I've stayed away from merchandise just because, in my opinion, I didn't want to have loads and loads of merchandise sitting in my house, and me going to events.
You don't have to have it in your house.
Well, in the house or the unit. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I meant as in like the way you set it up, and it's a case of people ordering. It comes from wherever, and it gets straight sent out. Bypasses you. You just
if it was drop shipping, I think it's maybe just me. For the drop shipping sense, I believe that my name holds weight for a quality product, and to drop ship, I wouldn't want something that's not quality to be under my branding, and then for me to be able to double check the product, I would have to buy it physically, and then I would have to make sure. So it was kind of like, because there was so many moving parts, and a one-man business, or well, I've got a team of people, but not everyone's no one's full-time in terms of the company. For me, it was just the input for the outcome just didn't really make sense to me. So I said, you know what, it sounds good and it looks good when you've got someone who's published and their books in every Asda, every Tesco, every Sainsbury's in the country, and then they'll come up with a pencil case. And my distribution isn't on that scale yet. Do you know what I mean? And who's to say, like, I spoke to a few customers and they say, who's to say that we buy books in Asda and Tesco? And I'm a reader and I've never bought a book in Asda or Tesco or even Waterstones. Everything's on Amazon. So you meet the customers where they're at. And for me, it's more word of mouth. And word of mouth is easy when you can WhatsApp a link, WhatsApp my story, WhatsApp the social media, and then they can say, yeah, it's not like someone's going to say, oh, yeah, unless you're looking for it, or they might do, but the chances are not going to say, oh, yeah, my uncle and me, I love that book, let me get it in Waterstones. It's more recommendation because of maybe the narrowed market that is perceived, that it's aimed at. A lot of people say black books it's just a book with black characters, the same way I've got books that I read with white characters, and I didn't think anything of it when I was young. It's like a book with animals. It's just a book, but a lot of people call it a black book, and it's aimed at black people, but it's not. But that's the way it's been perceived. But that's the main reason why I haven't got merchandise or haven't churned out books every 3 months, every 6 months, because it's expensive to create, and the distribution of that scale isn't there yet. So
no problem. Mr. Hines, I could talk to you all night.
I know.
I could talk to you all night. The show is technically supposed to finish at 10 o'clock.
Wow.
My producer is kicking me, even though we're not in the same room. Because we rarely as long as she doesn't chop us off.
Okay. Sorry, producer.
No,
it's because we haven't caught up in ages. That's why.
I know. Bring Shelly. Come on. Don't apologise at all. I'm so glad we've had you for so long. If I'm honest, I'm like going. Isn't he? You don't know it. Honestly, you just do what you do. When you're doing what you do, and you love what you're doing, you're just getting along with life. You don't know the impact that you're having on different people. You really don't know.
My friend says that all the time.
It's true.
I think it's because even though like I've sold thousands of books now, my lifestyle's still the same. Still wake up every day and go to work. So until the books bring a lifestyle change, then I'll be like, yeah, I can see. And because I don't do as many events, I don't speak to as many customers now. And in the week, it's just Mr. Hines, the PE teacher. Do you know what I mean? and then now and again, I done an event a few weeks ago, and teachers are like, "Oh, can I have a photograph?" And it's like, it's just kind of surreal. Do you know what
I mean? Shelly, do you want to say a few words? Because obviously we've got to wrap up, and I'll thank Ashley afterwards. Do you want to say? You don't understand. I can't wait to watch this back tomorrow.
I suppose, as you were saying, Ashley, that it's because you've done this thing. No matter what it is, yours just happens to be the sort of like be able to pick up really easily what a book should be. For any child, and then being in the classroom for it being any child, that you don't necessarily see the impact that you are having on other people. It is the ripple effect, and it's gone that far that you're not actually picking up on it. And when you're around other people that do the exactly same kind of thing, that you're just doing what you're doing because you love it, and you know that it can make a difference, that you don't necessarily do it for that. So it is you just
it doesn't. This is how I feel, honestly.
Yeah.
You think I'm just doing something. I'm telling you, Ashley, seriously. Oh my gosh. I am just blown away. It's like, oh my gosh, I've got this major star on my show. I was like, get in there, girl.
Nah, no star.
But as you said earlier, it's a weird thing that you picked up on, the fact that yes, it is not a book for a black child or a black family. It's a story.
Yeah, it's just,
and it's a story that you're actually doing all the time. I mean, I personally, I love the fact that you've picked it up on it's the aunt and the uncle.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got my own children, but I am that aunt. I am that family member that's going off and doing things. So I immediately picked up on that. When you brought out that like sort of like the uncle thing, that clicked with me more than anything else. And yeah, it's just the general story of what you're going on, and it just happens to be that it's the pictures that are then illustrated is of that colour, but the story's not. And so
many... like the audio book, because I've got audio book from my uncle and me. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that another time.
Check you out.
On Amazon and Apple, I think it's Apple Books. You can hear the audiobook, and obviously the audiobook is just the audio. It can relate to anyone. Obviously, there's no characters, no colors, no creed. So yeah, it was people say it, but I've never said it's a black book. It's just a book with black characters. You know what I mean?
And that's the way it should be, because the kids don't see it. It's only as they get that little bit older that they actually start to see things. So it's kind of, yeah, why should like books be put through like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do love the story. So when we then before Dee then says it, when we actually get round to doing the next black book
next year, 2023, Ashley.
Yeah, because I think
I have to get a copy of
I don't think you were down. You weren't down when we did the black book case.
I missed the last one.
It was just a little something, or so I thought. And then the next minute, the guys are sort of saying afterwards, we've had, they do the registration and that. They're like, over 400 people. I said, you what? We had over 400 people. I was like,
yeah, that's amazing.
So, so we're going to be bigger, but it's going to be 2023. And
just let me know well in advance, please.
I always let you know in advance.
That's cool.
And now I know to email you or to message you.
Yeah. Or
what do you want
Instagram.
Oh, on the Insta as well, no problem. What do you want to leave the guys with, Ashley? To the masses out there that if they don't watch it today, they'll watch it at some stage. What do you want to leave them with? What message?
First of all, thank you for having me. It's been great to reflect and think back on the journey, because life's so fast paced. I never really get the time to reflect and sit down for an hour and think, look how far you've come and look how many people have read your book and stuff like that. So thank you for the interview. As always, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the tickers there. You can contact me on any social media platform. Everything's Ashley Hines, WHDB, which is obviously Work Hard, Dream Big.
Not Messenger, because he doesn't respond.
Nah, dude. Well, I'll probably not messenger them. You can get me on anything, pal. Any serious inquiries?
My
the email.
inquiry is serious.
Get me on the email, man. The email. But yeah, I think I would like to leave everyone with like what kind of like what you're saying today. I don't really see myself as like someone that should be praised and whatever. I know what I've done is really good, but I'm still in the mindset of I remember just being the teacher that had an idea and like look how far it's come. So I remember when I first started doing it, I used to say thoughts become things. And the more that I went on the journey of business, I started to listen to podcasts, and I've looked around at every product in the world and it's someone's idea. Do you know what I mean? Someone thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go at this, or I'm going to try and create this.
Yeah.
And that's just what I've done with my children's book. And I believe everyone has that creativity to go and do it. It just depends on the environment, how much you're going to believe in it. Are you going to be able to get over all the hiccups and speed bumps in the road? But the motto is work hard, dream big. And if you do that, then you're obviously going to achieve a success at any level. So all the readers, so all the listeners want to hear big things from everyone in the next 6 months. Need to make some progress. But yeah, man, thank you.
He's told us now we've got to deliver. We've got to deliver.
Thank you for having me. And
thank you so much. How old's your daughter?
11 months.
What's her name?
Harmony.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Harmony, good night. Your dad's amazing.
She's long gone sleeping.
And your mum.
But yes, the books are all about child identity. So you're gonna be encouraged. You're gonna be surprised at the story, but you're also gonna relate, because everyone was once that child. Everyone was once that person going through issues with child identity, because we start to understand the world that we're in and we start to understand ourselves better. So a lot of adults can relate, and that's the good thing about identity. So get yourself a copy.
They will. I've got to get a copy of the second book. I have. So yes, we will stay in contact, Ashley, not via Messenger, don't worry. And honestly, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time out, because I've had you much longer than I thought we would have. So it's been brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, Ashley. See you later, darling.
Right,
thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So, my gosh, we nearly finished, Shell. Nearly finished. The reason I say that is because my niece sent me her update into the show. And then she messaged me after 9 saying, did I get it? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it would be wrong if we kind of thing. And I didn't even read the message that she's taken time to write. So this is from T.C. Thomas, co-author of, I think, 3 or 4 books now, poetry, writer of about 50 plus poems and all the rest. So, hi everyone. Since the last show, life has been good and exciting. I had a great birthday party with Karen and our friends on the 14th of May. I've been trying new things with Sasha in my workouts, and I'm really enjoying it. I have a new carer in the mornings with my main carer because, because if my main carer needs a day off or sick, I will have someone who knows my routine and I don't have to call my mum to help me. I finally got to make my Luton Carnival debut. I seriously enjoyed myself, and the amphitheatre was electric and the costumes were awesome. I especially loved mine because Chantier made it and he made me feel like a queen. So I have to give a big thank you to Chantier, and I have to thank Remy's for asking me. Auntie Dee, thank you for coming with me. It was fantastic to spend time with you. Also, I want to say thank you to the organisers who planned the carnival. Please make carnival like old days, because it doesn't feel like a proper carnival on Saturday, even though I had a blast. I would like to say to anyone, if you get an opportunity, take it, because it might lead to more opportunities. So until the next time, keep following your dreams, stay blessed and safe.
Yes, because another opportunity has arisen for said young lady, which we discussed earlier on, which will be out there very soon. So there's still a few people watching Shell. Have they not got lives?
No, I think they've left us on and fell asleep.
Oh, ha ha. I don't think so. I don't think so, but you might be right. So if you are one of those that have fallen asleep, you'll look back and you'll think, I missed an absolute. I know. See, Nikkei's cheeky. I hope Nikkei had, because it was Nikkei's 25th. Am I right, Shell? 25th wedding anniversary today. So congratulations to Nikkei. A special congratulations to the hubster, because obviously he's put up with Nikkei. Only kidding, love, only kidding. So yeah, so really and truly, if you know, the show's supposed to finish at 10 o'clock, but we are still on air because that's what we do. Cecile's not asleep either. Anybody else not asleep? Let us know. Still watching. There's loads more happening with Simply Deez. We're not going to rehash that again because time is of an essence. I just want to say a massive thank you to all of the guests on tonight's show. All the information is in the thread. If you missed any of it and can't find it, contact us and we will share it with you. So thank you to Yvonne John. We had the wonderful Daniella Swamper Cowie. We also then had Judith Jacobs. We had Alison Sauer. I was going to say Sauer. And obviously, finally, we had the awesome Ashley Hines. Can't happen without the awesome producer in the house, Shelly Titmus. I'm going to drink tea and eat cake. What now? You've had a bloody day to do that, Nikkei. Yvonne John, no, Yvonne Michelle. Yvonne Michelle, she's got an event on Sunday that we were talking about. We'll share all of that stuff. So, what an incredible show, Shell.
As usual.
Oh, check her out as usual. oh, she's been all like this because she's live and she's in the thing. You wait till afterwards. She go like, we're supposed to finish at 10 o'clock. We've already done a show today. So, Real Talk with Simply Deez will be back first Tuesday in July. Got some incredible guests as always lined up. If you don't know, follow us. And on YouTube as well. We've got to get our subscribers up. So for now, for those that are still awake, haven't got a life, we're going. Shell, what do you want to leave the guys with?
No, I think if you've sat through tonight and listened to us, or if you're watching this on replay, give it a share. Because there's all sorts of different things that have then come up, but they've all kind of
linked-ish.
Yeah, all very similar, and it's all different projects, but it is all very similar. And that's kind of how things always kind of like work out. We've always got something.
Yeah,
it just happens naturally.
Yeah, it's organic. That's the word.
At all, is it, Dee?
Not at all. So thank you all for watching. Seriously, thank you all for watching, for engaging and supporting, and we will see you soon. Thanks, and good night.